All right, what is up, you guys? Welcome. Should be. I was going to do a space early today on some other stuff, but I think it's important that we hear what Trump has to say tonight. Uh, there's been a lot of like propaganda that we were in peace negotiations and the war is almost over, yada yada yada. Every time the market dips, Trump says that the war is almost over. The market comes back up, then it dips again. Well, I will just remind everybody about the Trump token. You guys remember the Trump token right before the beginning of his term, right? It was the biggest crypto rug pull in history. Nothing even else comes close, right? I would argue what we're witnessing is a rug pull for the stock market. It goes up, it goes down. By the dip, it goes back up, right? So, bottom right corner, please repost the space. We're gonna watch the uh, we're gonna watch the speech tonight. He's supposed to give a presidential address about the war with Iran, why we're there, how long we'll be there, what the objectives are, and how we can leave. Now, a lot of people think because this is on the on the edge of what has been an amassing of troops over there. We have at least 10,000 Marines and naval forces over there in the region, carriers, much of our Navy's over there right now. We're pretty much surrounding Iran, right? So many people think there was a bet made earlier today and yesterday. Many people think that this is going to be. Uh, this is going to be the setup for him to send ground forces in. And there was a story that came out earlier today that the president was briefed by Pete Hegseth last week. He's the Department of War secretary, um, outlining how they could go in with special forces, Marines, and Navy and remove 1,000 kilos. I believe it was kilos. Maybe I'm wrong. 1,000 kilos, and again, I might be wrong there, of your weapons grade uranium, right? So that's the premise. If you can believe it or not, weapons of mass destruction is the reason why we are allegedly going into Iran. So the president was briefed with this option. It was an outline, a strategy of how they could carry out such an operation. And we don't know if he has okayed it or not, but I would say the amassing of ground forces around Iran allude to what to expect. I believe that we can likely expect a invasion of some sort, right? So get ready for it. There's some corrupt ass shit going on. There was this account. If you're over on YouTube, you can see this. There is a crypto wallet that made $1 million bet or something last month, right when the war started, about a month ago. There was a wallet that made a massive bet that we were about to strike Iran right before it happened, and it won. It accurately predicted it. And then today, it made an $800,000 bet on one of those crypto trading or crypto betting sites that we would invade Iran in the coming days. That looks to be an insider knowledge bet, right? Because there's no other bets at that level for that early. So it just looks corrupt as hell. It looks corrupt. It looks so corrupt. It looks so corrupt. Do me a favor, if you're in the space, go down to the comment section, repost the space. If you're over on YouTube, please get the video a like and share this with your normie friends who are not on X. Noah, do you think he's going to tell us we're going to war today?
I don't. What I think is going to happen is, first of all, on your point of manipulating the markets, in the last administration during Biden, we saw such blatant corruption, how the entire Biden family made millions off of grifting from the whole Burisma. And he should be in jail. The whole family should be in jail. Biden, his brother, Hunter, they should all be in jail for what they did. It's such blatant corruption. Yet, what Trump is doing on such a more massive. It pales in comparison. It's like a liquor store holdup compared to what Trump's doing. I mean, it's in the billions, and it's so blatant. It's obvious. It's scary
Yeah,
because
it's
we're all
like this.
seeing
It's
it.
like the most corruption you've ever seen from in a president. It's like the most.
Not just the most, but the most by a landslide. Like there is zero fear whatsoever of ever facing repercussions. It's a landslide more. My whole thing is I believe he's gonna claim victory on Iran, destroyed everything, regime change, we killed all the bad guys, yada yada. And I'm just hoping that there's not a 0% chance that if we all kiss his ass on Truth Social tonight, that he'll withdraw our troops, our brothers and sisters, our sons and daughters. But if we all just tell him to go F himself, it'll be boots on the ground. But I believe there's going to be boots on the ground no matter what. It's definitely happening.
So you think that he's not gonna tell us that there's boots on the ground, but they're gonna send boots on the ground over there anyways. That's what you're saying.
Yes,
But
sir.
I actually agree. Although I don't know, Trump does kind of show his hand a little bit sometimes. Um, so I'm on the fence on whether or not he's going to say it. I think he is going to say it because if they do it, if he lies to us and then they do it, it is going to make things so much worse for the Republican Party, right? Like they're already in dire straits. CPAC was like a no one showed up, right? Um, so I don't think so. I think that he's going to throw it out there, and it might be a way for them to preempt a War Powers Act, a War Powers resolution passing to go over there. Right? He might be presenting his case tonight.
It's an
So
extremely risky all or nothing bet, and it's tens of thousands of our soldiers' lives. And rumor is that we've had dozens killed actually today from Iranian strikes. It's an all or nothing bet, and I think yeah, you could very well be right on this. But who knows? He's a loose cannon, but I think it's extremely dangerous for the entire world, yes, but for us as a country because our country comes number one. It's just, oh, man, I'm scared, man.
yeah, it sucks. Go ahead, Jared. Amira, you don't have to raise your hands as long as you guys don't talk over each other.
Hey guys, can you hear me okay, Diligent?
Yep.
Yeah, so I think I agree with Noah. I think that he's going to go on a win streak here and announce try to shore up support for this war and tell the American people about the what they believe is the missile program that Iran has been up to, which still has not been confirmed. Talk about the Iranian leaders that have been killed. Da 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 da. However, I do think there's a sticking point here, right? Most people in America, right, work 9 to 5. They're not foreign policy experts. They're not geopolitical experts. And the administration has a problem right now with the higher gasoline prices. So gasoline prices right now are averaging about $4.15. That has risen over $1 in just 4.5 weeks.
We're higher than the Biden national average right now.
We're higher. That is correct. We are higher than what Biden left us. We are. It's never been this high since 2022. So, and 2022 was obviously when the Biden administration supported supported the invasion or the Russia Ukraine war. So there's that. I
Yeah, just they called it a minor incursion. Remember that
yeah.
when Biden said a minor incursion?
Yeah. And it didn't work, right? I remember talking to you, Diligent, about that, right? Talking about the gasoline prices years ago. Oh my goodness, it's been so much, right? Where the administration tried to tell you, Jen Psaki, uh, and all the Democrats, right, try to say, well, it'll get wetter, it'll get better, it'll get better, it'll get better. It just does not work. You're in a midterm election year, and many Americans are going to see this. I mean, $1.15 just in a few weeks, and again, the administration.
And we
Um,
haven't seen anything yet because it takes like 2 months to really feel the full effect.
Exactly, right? And the administration has been saying 2 to 3 weeks. Well, we heard that 2 to 3 weeks ago. So how many times are they just going to talk on repeat here and sound like a broken record? So I think he's also going to talk about the rest of the news today. By the way, Diligent, I don't know if you've seen, but there's breaking news in the Washington Post tonight. And CNN has confirmed the story that there is basically Pam Bondi is under fire. There's been conversations. Um,
Bro, they've been saying that since last July. Come on.
yeah, so well, we'll see where that goes. So basically, they're saying that frustrations have grown inside the White House and among Republicans over the DOJ's slow handling of Jeffrey Epstein files and the pace of other high-profile investigations.
Good.
So, again, Trump obviously Pam Bondi serves at the pleasure of the president, so it's still yet to be determined if Pam Bondi goes out like Christy Nome, and then obviously I'm sure he's going to also he can't talk about Trump. I don't know if you guys saw he sat at the Supreme Court right across from the White House this morning for 2 to 3 hours listening to the oral arguments about his executive order on birthright citizenship, which is being contested by the High Court, and Republican and conservative judges appeared skeptical of his outright executive order, basically saying that if a child is born on the U.S. and their parents are an illegal immigrant or an undocumented immigrant, that birthright
I think
citizenship
that's
does
what
not
he's going to
apply
be.
to them.
I think that's what he's going to be talking about a lot tonight because
Absolutely.
that is a hot issue with the base, and it is something that will take their mind off of Epstein. And well, he's going to try to take their mind off of Epstein and Charlie Kirk and Iran. I think that's I believe that we will see him push that hard.
Yeah, he's going to shit on the Supreme Court. Excuse my French. He's going to shit on the three Supreme Court justices that he actually appointed, right? That actually were not on his side today because most people think it's a close case, right? The 14th Amendment, since for 148 years, have said birthright citizenship applies to anyone born on U.S. soil. End of story. So whatever you try to spin it, but yeah, the administration is not in and I'm just putting on my political hat here. I'm not it's not in a good pace right now. There's obviously a split from the base. You have the Epstein files, this war, right? The no new war president, right? That obviously talked about in the last presidential debate with Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. It looks like, well, that's on you, and it's up to the administration and Marco Rubio and Pete Hegseth to find out, are they looking for off ramp here? Because you can't just say, and I learned this right when I was defending the Joe Biden people, right? Like you can't just say 2 to 3 weeks. Oh, no. I don't think Diligent though we're going to see Trump say definitively tonight that U.S. troops are going to be on the ground and going to invade Iran. I don't think he's going to go that far. He may hint at it. He may say in the Trump as he does. He may say it's possible. We're considering it, but I don't think it's going to be a full, complete. We're putting troops on the ground there, and it won't be popular because none of this is popular, right? Most people are against it, and we haven't even already put troops on the ground there. So right now, the administration, like I said, I would give them about a C minus on how they've handled this war so far.
Are you
Yeah,
kidding
but
me? A C minus?
why would the administration um, take things off of the table? Like, how does that make it a good a negotiation tactic to say that we're not going to do boots on the ground or we're not going to do some military incursion? Like, how does that benefit the United States by saying that outright in the public?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't get the tail end of your question. Are you saying how is
Uh,
that negative for him to announce that?
what I'm saying is like, so I think everybody can understand that Trump is always trying to make deals, right? So how is it how is it that he would give up his leverage? Like, so leverage is boots on the ground, keep going, doing all this. Why would he publicly say and give up all his leverage for negotiations? Why would he say that we're not going to do X thing publicly?
So yeah, I have a simple answer. Again, I don't think he's going to announce that tonight, but I do see why someone will think that because this has been going for some 3.5 to 4 weeks, logic, and Trump has been negotiating. We don't know who we're actually negotiating with because
He's
Iran.
not. No, no,
Uh,
no, 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 no.
well,
Trump.
hold on here. Like,
He
hold
is
on
not
here. Yes,
negotiating.
but
The
well, he
Iranians are not negotiating with us at
that's my
all.
point. He's been negotiating. However, we don't actually know who we are negotiating with because then we get these statements from Iran, who's like Trump said the other day that the war was finished, and Iran was like no. And then the other day, Trump said that we're in a closing deal of this negotiations, and the Iran said no, I didn't even speak to you. That you're speaking to the wrong person.
Yeah, and the
So
Iranians are telling the truth. I'm watching the
Okay, so
Iranians bomb.
who are the top five Iranians in negotiations? So like, who are the top five
They are not
Iranians that
they are
are?
they're
Wait,
done
listen. Who are the
negotiating with
top
us.
five? Just give me five names of
I can't
Iranian
pronounce
officials
for
that
one, I
are.
can't
You know,
pronounce them.
even if you don't have to pronounce them, right? You can go and
Okay,
link them up.
hold
You can
on.
go and do it,
They
whatever. Give
killed
me five people that are running
would you shut up
Iran
for a
right now.
second then? They killed the people that they were negotiating with, and Iran has told them there is they're not negotiating anymore in good faith at all. That this war is going to continue, and they have and since they are winning, they are winning. So stop watching Fox News. Oh, and by the way, Fox.
So who are the people
Wait
that
a
are
minute.
saying
Hold on.
this?
Hold
Who
on.
are the
Stop
people that are saying this? Just
logic,
give some names.
I'm
logic.
telling you,
Listen,
if you
listen,
want to
listen.
go ahead and you want to
Stop screaming, stop screaming. And he's loud, right?
okay.
Logic, you are on your Android and it sounds like shit. So I need you to calm down a little bit and stop talking over people. Because coupled
I
with
apologize.
your Android, yeah, I can't be doing it. So
Okay.
stop
Well,
interrupting.
yeah,
first,
logic. What it sounds like. I mean, it sounds like you're scared to just go out and say. It seems like you think this war is popular, and if you think so, I have a huge bridge to sell you in Kentucky somewhere, dude. Like, it's
No,
not
no, I don't
popular,
think.
and
Listen,
okay.
well,
I'm
it's
gonna try to.
like no,
I'm gonna.
like it's not popular. Like, can we
Look,
get those words out your mouth? This war is not popular, and
okay,
the
Jared,
fact.
hold
But
on.
let me just finish. Let me finish here because you asked a question earlier. Um, Many of us who don't like who have a consensus and no history, right? No wars, Iraq and Afghanistan, know that it doesn't end well when the president of the United States continues to say 2 to 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks. It never ends well, and it goes to a long war where money is made, where American service members are killed, and it seems like this is going this way. So there's a lot of skepticism that should be we shouldn't be supporting this. This is not what the American people voted for. Congress did not declare war, and I believe Trump has 52, 53 days um, to I mean, for this to be considered, in Congress, in Congress aisle here, because he's using, his commander in chief powers. So
Still within his authority, right? So, like, he's still within his authority right now, right?
yeah, he's still
You could
within
see
his
that, right?
authority, but yeah, sure, I'll agree. He's still within his authority right now. But as of right now, I think any foreign policy expert, including people on your right, including people wearing mega red hats, are even saying that this has gone too far. Laura Ingraham on Fox News the other day suggested that Marco Rubio might not even be telling Donald Trump, and I actually believe this. I don't believe in conspiracy theories, but I actually do believe Marco Rubio is setting Trump up for failure here because this gives him the ultimatum in 2028 to say, I was that person trying to stop Trump from going in the long war. And he's fucking it up for him. So this gives him the ability to go to the White House. So that's what I actually
Let's watch
believe.
the F bombs.
Yeah. Sorry.
Let's pass it around a little bit. We got Amira, David's up here, Sally's up here. Go ahead, Amira.
Yeah, Jared, I mean, saying you're not a conspiracy theorist is nothing to brag about, really, honestly. I mean, like, it's like saying, I'm not anti Semitic. It's like you're really so afraid to say that.
Yeah, I
When,
mean the track record's doing pretty good right now for the
yeah,
conspiracy
exactly.
theorists.
But
You're
Fox,
talking to a vaccine boosted person here, so I'm definitely not a
well, you
conspiracy
should have learned your
theorist.
lesson then instead of bragging about it. But, anyways, Fox News is reporting that President Trump's speech tonight is expected to outline that the United States may need to use ground force troops to secure highly enriched uranium and that has been buried deep in the country's mountains. Well, we already know that his little, Mark Levin was, saying we have to go in and get the uranium. There's already thousands of over 30,000 troops there. I mean, they were sent there, and from what I understand, there are other troops that are called to that they are going to deploy in the summer. So this thing is expected to go on. He's been playing with the markets, um, you know, um, like a yo-yo, and they're making money hand over fist. This is really disgusting. To say that like we're winning and all of this every day has been nothing but full of lies out of this administration. And I don't care about Pam Bondi. She doesn't. You know what I mean? Like honestly, like okay, she's gonna be the fall guy. The next guy is gonna be just as bad. I don't care about any of these people. They're all wicked and disgusting. All they did was switch out the faces, put a new, put a new generation of no good lying garbage. That's what we have. And, just yesterday, Iran has been saying that they are going after all of our assets. And any country in the Middle East, in the GCC countries that are allowing America to use their airspace are going to see a retaliation, which is fair. So yesterday they bombed Amazon in Bahrain. So, and I have been watching what they've been doing. I mean, I have to say, I have never seen such an honorable way of doing a war. I mean, completely telling everyone to leave by this time. This is what we're gonna do. Whereas we're bombing hospitals and churches and mosques and civilian. I mean, just like absolutely disgusting. I'm so ashamed to be an American. And I'm it's really sad to say that, but it's the truth. And this guy, I don't know who's in here that would ever support this. It makes absolutely no sense. You know, I don't know if you have children, but you should, I guess, be willing to sign them up to die for it. But I certainly will not.
I mean, logic seems like someone near my age. So you can send a letter to your DoD Secretary Pete Hegseth, and maybe he'll ship you out there, and I'm sure he'll be happy. But I will say this though that how are we negotiating if Trump on Truth Social is saying, "quote We are blasting Iran into oblivion," or as they say, back to the Stone Ages. It's just like that doesn't seem like a negotiating tactic that you would use, right, to say that. Um, so like I've been
So,
upfront.
so I guess, Jared,
Does
why
it?
would you
Yeah.
think, why would you think the president would come and tell the absolute world what he's negotiating? Why do you think he would say that out front?
Again, I never
Like,
said
you
that.
guys got to start. Yeah,
Sh-
I know, but everybody's got to start thinking logically about this, right?
no,
He's
yeah,
not
yeah.
going to go and tell everybody exactly what's happening on the ground. Why would he do that? It's not a good
He has
position.
to. He
So when
has
he
to
he
make.
comes
He's
out,
approaching. He's approaching. Let me answer that question real quick. He's approaching the deadline to take it to Congress. So he has to present something to the American people if they want to do a prolonged on the ground operation. Period. Right.
correct, but in his administration thinks that he did that on day three in the skiff with the 12 from Congress. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
his
That's
administration
not how
already
our
thinks he
war
did that.
powers. That's not how our war powers resolution
But
stuff
that's
works.
fine. So it's going to go through the courts. You know what I mean? So it's like he thinks he's already done this, right?
Go ahead, David.
Well, I would say
And
we can
please, if
find.
you have your hand up, because I'm like doing a live stream, just jump in if no one's
Oh,
talking.
okay. Yeah, I did have my hand up. There's a lot of noise going on there. I think the clocks have struck 13. I really do. My friend here who just said that she's ashamed to be an American, don't be. Be ashamed of the government, but that's not us anymore. Let's just admit it. We've all woken up to a world where we are the mark in a giant con. I mean, I hate to be a little dark about this. I mean, I do think ultimately the future is brighter than people think, but there's really no reason to vote. I mean, I don't watch the news because it's curated. They just don't talk about this stuff. Same with the Epstein stuff, same with the Charlie Kirk stuff. They just flush it down the memory hole. In fact, this is pretty much the only place. I mean, you should be retweeting this space if you have any sanity left, because this is pretty much the only space where we're really talking and getting into what's happening to us. It's not left versus right. It's not right versus left. It's right versus wrong. And we're talking about our government mass exterminating people in the cradle of civilization. You know,
It's one
little
of the oldest it's one of the oldest societies in the world.
the Akkadians. Cyrus the Great was such an honorable man that when the Greeks killed the messenger, remember, don't kill the messenger, then they felt bad about it, and so they sent two messengers to him and said, "Okay, you can kill these." And he said, "No, no, no, we don't do that." So he just sent them back in peace. The Akkadian Empire existed before any Western civilization, and don't forget the Phoenicians were the ones who sent Linear B out to the world. We wouldn't have our language without them. All the wonderful Biblios, the city they founded, that's what we name our Bible after. And the idea that we're going to mass exterminate our brothers and sisters in Iran, and the fact that our friend here is right. The president shouldn't take things off the table, but he shouldn't be talking about bombing people back to the Stone Ages, my friends. If it is true that blessed are the peacemakers, isn't it also true? Doesn't it naturally follow that cursed are the warmongers? And isn't this what we precisely voted against? If there is a real Christian kernel in you, does that say mass exterminate? Does that say you get to kill a bunch of children in Gaza, but as long as you don't call it genocide? No, it's kabuki theater, and we just want to no longer be a part of it. These people, we're the mark, okay? That's why I still say, and I guess I'll finish with this. I think the Epstein thing, you asked a couple of weeks ago, Diligent, what she will be focused on? I think it's the Epstein thing. The same cabal of people that are doing this, the same cabal of people that have taken control, the recrudescence of the war party, which is just so sad, that same cabal of people are the ones that are talking in the Epstein files, and they're getting away with it. No arrest, nobody. And I think that if we can take that down, I think that's the thread that unravels everything else. The ability is too much. It's just too much. So I don't know how to get at it, but I think it really begins by going back to Epstein and never giving up until we find the answers.
I think we're at the point where he might say in upcoming, and this speech is upcoming in about 30 minutes here. Uh, well, the troops have been fed lobster and steak and they're ready to go for war. Like we're at that stage right now. I think that like he literally might say that. Okay, here in about 30 minutes. Um, I have been upfront since this began. I did support the initial strike because if it was obviously like Venezuela, I would support that. Go in, go out, finish, did the job done. We're not nation building or anything because I still support. I'm still sickened that Iran would try to kill President Trump. I actually do believe that actually happened.
Take another booster, Jared.
No, well, I do believe that. I mean, that was a confirmed report where the IRGC was crafting on a napkin to try to take out Trump when he was running for president and in the
Does that
courtroom at the
sound?
same
Does that
time.
sound? Does that sound legit on a napkin?
I mean,
Come
you would
on,
be
bro.
surprised what they pay
Okay,
people $4 an hour to
I'm
do.
actually, Jared. I'm actually with Amir on this one. I think the booster comment applies to this logic. Let's go to Noah real quick. Go ahead. And then we got Kellyanne. She's been waiting patiently.
Thank you. Has anybody really mentioned how or the possibility of China and Russia playing proxy wars if we put boots on the ground in Iran? I mean, if you think about it, we did this to Russia for years, right? We used Ukraine as a proxy, we armed them, we gave them a bunch of money, and we killed a bunch of Russians, which is absolutely horrific. Now, if you're paying attention, you'll see that China and Russia both are stepping up to the plate. China said that they would maintain security through the Persian Gulf, and Russia just sent an oil tanker full of oil to Cuba. Now, I hate my government for cutting off Cuba. I think that's a horrific thing to do. You're killing people slowly. But President Trump made a statement saying he allowed the Russian tanker to go to Cuba. And I don't buy that for a second. I mean, if you're paying attention, we're pretty spread thin. I
He
mean,
did
imagine. I'm
allow
sorry?
that. He did allow that.
Well, I
Trump
mean,
did
Don't
allow that.
interrupt him. He's speaking.
it's okay. But my perception is if I'm another superpower like Russia, and I've already done business with Cuba in the past, I've smuggled in missiles and things like that. And I see an America that's distracted and weakened and spread way too thin. I'm going to put in an oil tanker and I'm going to say, you know what? This oil is going to Cuba, FAFO. See what happens. You're not going to like the results, right? And I'd be putting more than just oil on that tanker into Cuba. I mean, both these countries are stepping up the plate. So, what is stopping China and Russia from joining in this and making it a proxy war to kill our soldiers?
The president of Iran wrote a letter to the American people. I put it in the purple pill if anyone's interested.
I think I should read it. I think it would be that's the
I
thing
think
to
you should.
do. Yeah, I will.
Sure.
I'll
Why
read
don't
it.
you? Okay.
Isn't that the plan? Kind of what makes me think that that there will be troops going in is because isn't that what they always do? Like, always muster troops, put them on the outside of the perimeter, and just say they're going to be there for just carrying tanks and doing other
That's
administrative
exactly
duties.
what Putin said right before he invaded.
Exactly, right? I mean, like, it's like, yeah, just put them on the outside. So they're not going to do any combat missions or anything. And then we're like, overnight, we're like, oh, this is what it is. So, yeah, I absolutely
But there's
think
a
we're going
difference
in.
here because where's the contiguous border? You see, with the buildup against Iraq, we had they had that giant border of contiguity with Saudi Arabia. But where is the contiguous? Where do you build up just to where you can, like Putin did, jump across the border? Where do you do that?
Well, maybe if they put them like outside of the, because, what was the country? Saudi Arabia said today, was basically giving advice to Iran and saying, that the U.S. could just put them stationary or at embassies, and then they just go in. You don't think that's
Where?
possible?
Where do you understand building up on a border like we did with Iraq, like the U.S. government did? Sorry, I don't know why I'm saying we. Building up a border, that was a long, giant buildup by Schwarzkopf, right? Okay, so it was obvious, like everybody could see, okay, this is going down, okay? But where is this buildup? On where do you get on the border of Iran where to build up a giant swath of American soldiers? Where do you do that?
So you think if they so
Why are
you
you
think
asking
they're
me a question? I'm asking you a question, okay?
you think they're already in? I don't think they are
No,
already in. I
my God,
think
are we? uh, Should I speak another language? Look, I'm asking where on Iran's border are the U.S. soldiers going to build up in order to be able to rush across the border and fight a land war?
at the Iranian embassy, like at our like that's
What?
You're going to
like
fight from the embassy? What?
No,
they're
no,
good.
no,
They're
no,
gonna
no,
be
no, no.
they're
Hold
gonna
on,
be
hold on, hold
placed
on, hold on,
there
hold on, hold
for the
on.
No,
next
Stop,
this
four
is
stop,
weeks,
cool.
stop,
and then they're
Hey,
gonna
deal,
go
stop,
in.
deal.
stop,
Fix this.
stop, stop. We're lowering the IQ of the audience. I can't do it. I can't do it. All right, so we are in the surrounding naval and air bases in the region. We have them all over the place. We've been building up forces in that region for decades, decades, decades. This is not something new. One of our, as a matter of fact, our largest is it not Beirut, but I forget which one it is. Our largest U.S. CENTCOM, right? Our largest naval base on that side of the planet is located just adjacent, just across the strait from Iran, right? We are positioning ourselves on naval fleets and in bases in the area, but we're also there's an island that is near Iran that they keep talking about, and I'll have to look it up because I can't think of it off the top of my head. That is a
Carg
strategic.
Island. Carg
What's
No,
Island.
that?
Carg
card.
Island.
Karg Island.
It's
Yes, thank you very
Nine,
much.
95%, 95% of the oil flows goes through that island.
Yeah,
it's Abusa.
it's what, Kelly?
It's Abusa, not Karg.
Okay, one of them. Anyways, all right. So Kelly, you had your hand up. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, if you guys at the beginning of this didn't think that ground troops are going to be involved, I'm really sorry for you, because it's logical. I mean, Iran is huge.
Yeah,
It's
but
a
we did not vote to send troops to Iran. It's not that we're not expecting it. Of course we expect the deep
okay.
state and the of course we expect the deep state and the establishment and the corrupt regime to do what it does. We were supposed to get a different result with Trump, right? That's the problem.
Well, does
Well, you
anyone, like, to be fair, does anyone really vote? Like, what can you name another presidential candidate that's going to say, like, I don't think that's fair. I just don't think that
He
the
said no
U.S.
new wars. He was going to end wars and no new wars. Over and over, it was a campaign slogan. What are you
Well,
talking about?
they're calling it a conflict. Remember, Diligent,
I
it's
mean,
actually
are
not a
these
war.
new wars? I'm with Jared on that. This is just conflict. Are these new wars? I
Yes,
mean,
this is this is the
these
No, it's
nations
sustained
a war. I was
know.
military.
just joking. I was
These
just
This is a
joking.
nations are
sustained.
all a
This is
part of
a
the
this
BRICS.
this is a
So did they
sustained
not know that
military.
that was a problem?
This is a sustained military campaign that is affecting the global trade economy. So yes, it is a war. The economy is treating it as a war. The effects are like a war. They didn't call Vietnam a war, but it was still a war, right? So yes, this is a war. Trump himself has referred to it as a war over and over and over again. It's a war. Period.
should
It's
have
a war
happened. This should have happened 47 years ago.
Why?
Honestly,
against Israel.
Why? How many
come
countries? How many
on.
countries has Iran ever invaded? How many?
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. How many countries has Iran ever launched missiles at first? How
and
many? How many? How many countries has Iran launched
killing.
missiles at first? Give me an example.
How
One
many
example.
Christians have they killed?
Huh?
How many Christians has the
You have
IRG
got to stop drinking the Kool-Aid, Kelly.
How
drinking?
many Christians has Israel killed? Because, every place they
Lots.
bomb, there's tons of Christians. Think of Ukraine. How many Christians are in Ukraine? How many Christians are in Syria? How many Christians are in all these other surrounding countries? You guys have to realize that blaming Iran for the Christian thing is a failed argument.
And Lebanon, the Israelis are killing a lot
Hey,
of
who was
Christians in
that? Who
Lebanon.
was that? Who was that? Who was that
Christians are
girl that was
actually
just speaking?
they're actually
Do me
prospering
a favor.
over there.
We have almost 400 people in here and just a few reposts. Go down to the comment section. Do me a favor. Help support American non-botted spaces host. Go down to the comment section and please repost the space. Don't quote post it. Please repost it. Thank you so much.
Hey, I'd like to explain to her though real quick. So every proxy that we've done is from Iraq to anywhere, even taking Assad out over there in Syria. When we left it, less Christians were there. You should see the Iraq numbers now. It is disgusting. It took it down like three quarters. So there's been a growing number of Christians in Iran. Like regardless of it, like the guy, he kept them alive. But you watch Fox News and you see that they're killing the Christians. Like, like, I mean, it's not like that. Like, you got to know your geopolitics before you speak on it like that. It's dangerous.
What do you, what
Hey,
do you
let's.
guys
Hey,
make of Trump saying that he might pull away, that the U.S. might pull away from NATO? He said that this afternoon.
Praise the Lord above.
There was
yeah,
you
I
guys
think,
should have seen the memes. It was crazy.
but I mean, I think, does everybody kind of like support the fact that NATO's kind of being little bitches lately, and we've kind of like held the line for the last fucking 70 years? Like,
NATO has
how does
always
that? How does everybody else feel?
NATO has always been an arm that the globalists have used to gradually go into various countries and go and save them for democracy. And what they really are doing is they're impoverishing these lands, causing mass migration because they're making everyone so poor and everything's so disrupted. And then they're going in and they're stealing all of their resources to enrich these oligarchs. That's what the NATO and UN have been doing since they've been created.
NATO has happened before. It was called the Delian League, and it ended in the Peloponnesian War and the destruction of Athens. After Persia was no longer a threat, and remember, NATO was there for the Soviet Union, After Persia was no longer a threat, then Athens used it as basically a hegemonic power in order to expand itself, and it started to become an empire instead of a republic of sorts, and it ended up being its destruction. This is the same with NATO. NATO shouldn't exist. NATO now is trying to start wars with regard to the fratricidal war that they've incited. And
Yeah, they have encroached upon Russia. The reason why
right,
Russia invaded Ukraine is
right.
because NATO has broken their treaties and broken their security agreements
Right.
and moved closer and closer to Russia,
When
becoming a threat
Ronald
right up to their
Reagan
border.
Right. When Ronald Reagan made a deal with Gorbachev, the promise was that we wouldn't move NATO 1 foot closer to Russia. We've moved it 1,000 miles. And all of a sudden, just like in the Middle East, somehow we are the ones that aren't the aggressor. Remember, Victoria Nuland, a member of the same tribe, was the one that got her tribal brothers and sisters to overthrow the government in Ukraine and create this fratricidal war of these beautiful young men on both sides, a million of them. And then you see BlackRock and JP Morgan over there carving up the whole country like the Christmas turkey, and they don't care. This is the same cabal of people, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it again, that are tied to Epstein. I'm going to tell you something, Diligent. I don't really care what Trump has to say because you know what he's really going to say? Nothing. Nothing. It's always, Solzhenitsyn said after he got out of the Soviet Union that these wars were basically to tyrannize over the people within the country. They were an excuse to lock us down, take away our freedoms. And sure enough, that's what's happening here. I mean, this war isn't, tell me how a waiter in Iowa is going to benefit from this regime change insanity, from exterminating all these people in Iran. How does that guy or gal benefit? How does a plumber in Texas benefit from this war? I think now we're all just realizing that we're being played, and it doesn't matter which side of the aisle is playing us.
We've never been successful at one regime as far as turning them to a democracy. Grok tried to tell me Panama, but the thing about it is, it's like, please tell me that's a myth. The whole Israel's not putting boots on the ground with us if we do, and now we're going for our uranium. Are we not doing? Is this really happening?
I think you're alluding to the plan that was presented to President Trump last week. Grok, can you talk about the plan that was presented to extract the uranium out of Iran by Pete Hegseth to Donald Trump last week?
Hold on, let me check that claim quick. Yeah, I get where you're coming from. It's frustrating when it feels like these big moves are just theatre, right? About that specific plan, from what I can see, there is a high-risk military proposal that got briefed to Trump last week. The US military drew it up, at his request, to seize around 970 pounds of Iran's highly enriched uranium, stuff that's buried deep, maybe under mountains near Isfahan. We're talking special forces, digging gear flown in, even building a quick runway for cargo planes to haul it out. Super dangerous. Experts call it one of the toughest ops since WWE, with big casualty risks and toxic material hazards. But here's the thing. It wasn't Pete Hegseth who cooked it up or presented it. He's defense secretary, sure. He's been out there saying we negotiate with bombs, hyping airstrikes, and pushing that a regime change already happened in Iran. He's all over briefings. But the uranium grab? That's Pentagon contingency stuff, not his personal pitch. Trump hasn't greenlit it yet. Folks close to him are selling it as a quick win, but he's even said the stockpile's too buried to raid without a deal first. So no, it's not a myth, but it's not boots on ground with Israel teaming up for uranium heists either, just a floated option amid this mess. And honestly, you're right. None of it fixes gas prices for that Iowa waiter or Texas plumber. Feels more like power plays than protection. What part bugs you most?
Go ahead.
Pete Hegseth. So I did some looking at him. He was a Fox News analyst, but before that, he was he reached a EO4, which is like a major in the what is it, the Army National Guard. But he hadn't been doing anything but hosting Fox News on the weekends. But he
You
has
didn't know
been.
that, Cody?
No, no, no. But I know like dispensational. He's a post. I was like, there's more. He's a post. He's like, let's go take this shit so we can make the Christians. You're gonna read that, like that kind of shit, like jihad. How they talk
Hey,
about the
hey,
Muslims.
Coyote, what kind of person would you like in that role?
Not somebody that's gonna make me. You're gonna raise the damn. I'm not gonna like be whipped in chains and shit. To have to do something like that.
It's
I
like
like
How
to
what
be
about
a
kind of
man
how,
that was.
education? What kind
how
of
about a smart
education would you like in
person?
that role?
How about a
Oh,
smart
like
person?
Princeton and went to
How about
national.
somebody who cares, somebody who doesn't want to crash the U.S. economy? How about that?
There we
Or
Hey,
go.
or that really cares about our troops and doesn't lie and say that the troops are telling him to bomb harder.
And
Or
went through
the
a whole
Well,
boot camp,
why
not
would
just a
you want
half a
to
boot camp.
why would you want somebody that cares in the that's running the military to care about the economy? That should never be an option.
He
yes,
was
it
doing
should.
Fox News before he was like, what are you talking about?
Incorrect.
Yeah, he was.
because
Like no, they're running a military.
a crash economy can ruin, devastate a country,
And
right?
as Ron
You
Paul
want to
But
keep
pointed
the
that's
out,
not
economy
his
moving.
calculus. That's
no,
not his calculus as a military
incorrect.
person. He
Which
would never
weakens
want
our
somebody to go
country.
and take in take
Listen,
that
these
indication.
people are nothing more than figureheads of the regime. They don't actually do anything. Pete Hegseth, Tulsi Gabbard, RFK, they are nothing more than talking heads for the camera. The reason
I
why
I
most of
I
them,
agree.
were almost all of them were podcasters or legacy media. Fox News is legacy media. Pete Hegseth, Dan Bongino, Cash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard. They were all podcasters, all of them. Jeanine Pereira, podcaster, Fox
Hero.
News. Huh? Piero. Sorry. Judge Piero. Who else? I know I'm missing a few. I mean,
Even
it's
Pam
like,
Bondi, even you could say her. You can Dan Bongino. I mean,
yeah, these
Cash
people
Patel.
they are not professionals in the field to which they're being appointed, right? They
I
are
agree. I agree.
media people. Their
I
job
think
is
that
to
Trump.
sell you. Their job is to sell you the bullshit. That's what their job
Well,
is.
I know. So I know. Well, I don't disagree. I think that he moved these people into the position, right, to be his like PR campaign, and I agree with that, right? But that just because that's the truth, right, and we all can agree with that, that doesn't mean that the agencies that they represent are doing something bad.
Actually, not true. And they're not just PR. Like, we're not talking about low leveled aides. I mean, these are cabinet level positions. And when Trump was not president and when he spent his time at Mar-a-Lago, he would watch Fox News. And when he would see people come on TV and just express opinions that agree with him, I mean, like, this, like, he literally picked half of his cabinet, half of the White House staff from Fox News. Like, you could, like, the
Th-
CDC director, the deputy
this is up
FBI
my alley right
director,
here. So
FBI
the
Right, right.
director.
That's my point that I was making is that he's doing it like
Do you think a
his
Fox News
appointments on these top.
dude, it's
Fox
not
Well,
about the
like
News?
Fox News. It's
no, I
about
know, but it's
it's
like
bad.
there's a
Like,
person
hold
at
on, but he's
there's a
so
person at the head
aggressive.
of something. Go
He's
ahead.
very like his type of Christianity. It's like nationalism. It's not good for it. It pushed people away from Christianity, but also you got Jews, Muslims, all kinds of other people that are in the army too, and they're going to be forced to. Have you heard him at the Pentagon, bro? Oh my God, you should hear. I can play it if you want, Judge. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, literally, the Fox News qualification was, I mean, the major sticking point to why he put these people in that have the same power right now. Right? They don't know the
Well,
law.
right.
They don't know the law. They don't know the secretary. They don't know how to defend our country. They don't know great plans. They don't know the economy. Like, they all, it was
Well,
just, a
Okay,
loyalty
Hold,
test.
hold
so
on, just
let's
real quick. Hold on,
Pam
Roger.
Bondi, I'm
Hold
sorry,
on.
Sally.
Hold on, just real quick. They are qualified. I mean, some of these people have fought for our country. You might not like what they're doing, but they are smart, but they may not be acting for themselves. But to say that they don't know how to defend this country is not really fair for the amount of service that they've put in.
I don't think. I mean, if we're looking at other presidents, I mean, Pete Hegseth has never ran an organization. He has never ran, I believe, an
okay,
organization over
but
30
but
people.
that's
I don't
fine,
think you should
right?
be Secretary of Defense,
And he's a
I know, but
controlling
dumbass.
that's fine.
four-arm
So
branches.
what?
I'm sorry.
He's the Secretary of War. So what you should do? So like, if you say that you don't like him, right? You don't like Pete Hegseth, right? He's not the right guy, right? Right. So when you come into a space like this, just tell us certain aspects of how he's conducting this war, things that he's actually doing
Yeah, he hasn't given
that
us a
you're
press
saying.
conference in 2 weeks. Yeah, I have.
Okay,
Let me
so like
cook.
that's what right. So like, go ahead,
Let me cook.
go ahead.
Pete Hex said this scared to even call this a war. Many of us in here know this is a damn war. Why are you trying to blackpill us? Number one. Number two, he's not being transparent. He's not giving us a press conference. Diligent has talked about this in the previously. Right now, the journalists in the freaking Defense Department, okay, are people like I'm trying to think of them. I can't think of their names right now, but
Give me
they're
five
not
seconds with this.
journalists.
Listen to Heck says. God who trains our hands for war and our fingers. Hold on. Here we go. Prayer service at the Pentagon. Almighty God who trains our hands for war and our fingers for battle. You who stirred the nations from the north against Babylon of old, making her land a desolation where none dwell. Behold now the wicked who rise against your justice and the peace of the righteous. Snap the rod of the oppressor, frustrate the wicked plans, and break the teeth of the ungodly. By the blast of your anger, let the evil perish. Let their bulls go down to slaughter, for their day has come, the time of their punishment. Pour out your wrath upon those who plot vain things and blow them away like chaff. Amen.
What an
Hallelujah.
idiot. What an idiot.
Yeah, the Benny Johnsons of the world are asking questions about the war. So that's what's happening right now.
Yeah, God's going to answer his prayers and we're going to pay for it.
This guy's been working on a temple for years, come to find out. He's like on the board of the Temple
Bro, did
Institute.
you
Like,
see that thing where Dan Bongino posted screenshots of text messages with Thomas Massey saying that he was trying to meet him so that they could talk about the J6 pipe bomb case? And Dan Bongino was texting him from Israel based on the time zone.
Yes.
Fucking nuts,
Yeah,
dude. That's nuts. That's when he was
yeah.
in the FBI. In the FBI. What is going on?
Why was Bongino in
Listen,
Israel?
listen. I think Mongino's actually not that smart. Like I'm being honest, especially compared to Massey. There's no way. Like, them two are in different realms. You know what I mean?
Bongino was just a cheerleader that yelled, "Let's get the deep state and they need to pay." Gets in there, doesn't he's way over his head, can't even last 9 months. And then now he's just calling everyone black pilled, faggot, whatever, calling people names instead of just actually bringing us information. Oh, I'll tell you, this is going to happen. I've got an insider, but I'll tell you next week. He doesn't have any insider. Nobody will talk to him. No one trusts him. He threw way too many people under the bus.
Well, Dan Bongino was the reason why the deputy FBI director. He was the reason why they busted the January 6th pipe bomb case that the Biden that the Biden Christopher.
Don't get me started on that. They have the wrong person right now in prison. That
How do
his
you know
first
that, Sally?
because I have been studying this since my birthday, which was November 4th. I have been following every little thing that's dropped on this person. I have watched footage from January 6th. I've watched every single article that they've put out. They got the wrong guy. They are comfortable arresting a black autistic kid who has to wear headphones in order to function in prison. When they took his mugshot, he was wearing headphones because why? He's autistic. Whoever planted that pipe bomb knew exactly where they were going, knew exactly which cameras to avoid. This is a black autistic kid who had the exact same routine every single day, to and from whatever he did.
Real quick. Let me do some
Hey,
housekeeping.
oh, let me. Oh,
I just noticed that we have nearly 400 people in here. Please support American Spaces. Go down to the comment section in the bottom right corner of the space and repost the space. Thank you. Let's get 100 reposts. Thank you so much.
Who doesn't
Take another
repost right when
booster, Jared.
I'm sorry. What was that?
Time for another booster.
What? What? Like again, I give kudos where kudos is due. I think the Biden Justice Department should have found the January 6th. I mean,
Did you not hear what
very
Sally
dear
just
and near to
told you?
my
It's
heart.
an autistic kid framed just like Tyler Robinson.
No,
My God,
yeah,
what is
okay.
wrong with
hey,
You
hey,
can't
everybody?
be black pill.
Shawnee Kirkhoff is the one who did it. 6 months after January 6th, she was just happened to be moved over to the CIA.
Is this
She's
the
the
J
exact,
six police
yes,
officer?
she
Oh
is the
my
exact,
goodness. Oh my god.
she's the exact same height, has the exact same gait. They have done analysis that is groundbreaking analysis. They've tried to silence this story. So when you listen and go through what Thomas Massey was saying in his messages, where he was saying, "I brought you evidence, whistleblowers for J6," they were talking about the pipe bomb. That's what he was talking about. And Bongino threatened him with lawsuits. I'm going to sue reporters, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure that conversation is recorded, and I hope they release it.
Yeah, because Bongino's the one that took the FBI. He put a whole new team of FBI agents on the pipe bomb case that
No,
was
you are
planted.
Jared. Why don't you stop? Why don't you stop believing everything that you read in the papers?
Wait, hold,
I think you're
Sally.
smart.
Sally, I bought
I just want.
Pfizer. I bought Pfizer stock, so I'm counting on Jared continuing to be gullible. I want him to get some more injections for me.
Wait, David. Hold on, David.
Wait.
Do you believe?
There's a thing here.
Do you
There's a
guys
thing that.
believe a January 6th police officer planted by, like, let me just say that again, just for the people listening. Do you believe a former January 6th police officer that actually
Dude,
goes straight to the MAGA?
Why don't you
opened
ask
the
the question,
doors
buddy?
to the Capitol
Hey,
that day, Jared?
Okay,
well,
so you
Jesus.
okay? Hold on.
wait.
Oh,
There's
no,
a
no, no.
You
You
video.
don't
don't
have
have.
to believe the official
Hold
narrative.
on. Hold on.
Stop. We're not rehashing the whole J6 thing right now. Okay, let's bring it back to Iran. That's what the space is about. Thank you.
Can I just say one
Jeez, everybody
thing?
I
drink a
thought you were going to
monster?
read the letter.
Can I just say one thing and drop it, Diligent?
Yeah. After that, I want to drop it though. I want to get back to the
Okay.
topic.
The
You guys are getting
assumption.
off in the weeds.
Yeah, the assumption is that these people who did what they did, the officers that looked for the bomb, the person that planted the bomb, it is believed that they thought that they were really doing an exercise, a training exercise for a bomb. So that's why they weren't worried about anything, right? They never thought anyone would go looking for the pipe bomb under Biden. Everyone thought they would drop it. When they discovered they'd found someone, then they had to do a cover story. I'm landing there.
And I would say, if anybody wants to know more about it, go to Thomas Massey's presence here, and then he's advocating. He's saying they got the wrong guy, and so you can learn a lot more about it from Thomas Massey.
Stephen Baker's actually the reporter breaking the story. So go to Stephen Baker from Blaze Media.
Oh, thank
So
you.
how
I'll
do
do
I feel
that.
about going to getting the uranium at even though Israel, like, we should be done. We should be like, well,
No. We were told that shit's all done last year. No, we're
No,
not supposed to be at
We
war.
no. We need 5,000 troops to go in there and just go and hunt for it. If we got to dig a tunnel to go down, we got to go and get it.
Well, I have a question for you.
they're not going to be waiting or anything.
How many Israeli troops? I mean, I assume that they aren't holding the position that they're the master race, that they need to see the Goyim in front of them.
Israel is currently striking bases along targets along the Strait of Hormuz right now. I just saw a post.
Are they sending their troops in?
No, they're not. They have said that they're not sending their troops.
But I really don't get this. Like, why is an American soldier so vastly inferior, so worthless compared to the Israeli soldiers, since they're the ones driving this war?
We've been doing it all this time in the Middle East
I
for
just
them.
I don't get why the American people aren't up in arms, figuratively
Okay,
speaking.
here we go. Here's Trump's taking the stage, you guys.
Fuck yes, let's go.
Thank you very much. My fellow Americans, good evening. Let me begin by congratulating the team at NASA and our brave astronauts on the successful launch of Artemis 2. It was quite something. It will be traveling further than any manned rocket has ever flown and will very substantially pass the moon, go around it, and come back home from a distance that has never been done before. It's amazing. They are on the way, and God bless them. These are brave people. We want to God bless those 4 unbelievable astronauts. As we speak this evening, it's been just 1 month since the United States military began Operation Epic Fury, targeting the world's #1 state sponsor of terror, Iran. In these past 4 weeks, our armed forces have delivered swift, decisive, overwhelming victories on the battlefield, victories like few people have ever seen before. Tonight, Iran's Navy is gone. Their Air Force is in ruins. Their leaders, most of them terrorist regime they led, are now dead. Their command and control of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is being decimated as we speak. Their ability to launch missiles and drones is dramatically curtailed, and their weapons factories and rocket launchers are being blown to pieces, very few of them left. Never in the history of warfare has an enemy suffered such clear and devastating large-scale losses in a matter of weeks. Our enemies are losing in America, as it has been for 5 years under my presidency, is winning, and now winning bigger than ever before. Before discussing this current situation, I also want to thank our troops for the masterful job they did in taking the country of Venezuela in a matter of minutes. That hit was quick, lethal, violent, and respected by everyone all over the world. After rebuilding our military during my first term, we have by far the strongest military anywhere in the world, and now we're working along with Venezuela and are, in a true sense, joint venture partners. We're getting along incredibly well in the production and sale of massive amounts of oil and gas, the second largest reserves on Earth after the United States of America. We're now totally independent of the Middle East, and yet we are there to help. We don't have to be there. We don't need their oil. We don't need anything they have, but we're there to help.
Who are we helping?
Our allies. Tonight, I want to provide an update on the tremendous progress our warriors have made in Iran and discuss why Operation Epic Fury is necessary for the safety of America and the security of the free world. From the very first day I announced my campaign for president in 2015, I have vowed that I would never allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. This fanatical regime has been chanting death to America, death to Israel for 47 years. Their proxies were behind the murder of 241 Americans in the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut, the slaughter of hundreds of our service members with roadside bombs. They were involved in the attack on the USS Cole, and they carried out the countless other heinous acts, including the just horrible, bloody atrocities of October 7th in Israel, something that most people have never seen anything like it. This murderous regime also recently killed 45,000 of their own people who were protesting in Iran. 45,000 dead. For these terrorists to have nuclear weapons would be an intolerable threat. The most violent and thuggish regime on earth would be free to carry out their campaigns of terror, coercion, conquest, and mass murder from behind a nuclear shield. I will never let that happen, and neither should any of our past presidents. This situation has been going on for 47 years and should have been handled long before I arrived in office. I did many things during my 2 terms in office to stop the quest for nuclear weapons by Iran first, and perhaps most importantly, I killed General Qasem Soleimani in my first term. He was an evil genius, brilliant person, a horrible human being, however, the father of the roadside bomb, and he lived just horrible what he did. Iran would have been perhaps in far better, stronger position. Had he lived, we would have had probably a different conversation tonight. But you know what? We'd still be winning and winning big. And then, very importantly, I terminated Barack Hussein Obama's Iran nuclear deal, a disaster. Obama gave them $1.7 billion in cash, green cash, took it out of banks from Virginia, D.C., and Maryland, all the cash they had. He flew it by airplanes in an attempt to buy their respect and loyalty, but it didn't work. They laughed at our president and went on with their mission to have a nuclear bomb. His Iran deal would have led to a colossal arsenal of massive nuclear weapons for Iran, and they would have had them years ago, and they would have used them. It would have been a different world. There would have been no Middle East and no Israel right now, in my opinion, the opinion of a lot of great experts, had I not terminated that terrible deal. And I was so honored to do it. I was so proud to do it. It was so bad right from the beginning. Essentially, I did what no other president was willing to do. They made mistakes, and I am correcting them. My first preference was always the path of diplomacy, yet the regime continued their relentless quest for nuclear weapons and rejected every attempt at an agreement. For this reason, in June, I ordered a strike on Iran's key nuclear facilities, an Operation Midnight Hammer. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Those beautiful B-2 bombers performed magnificently. We totally obliterated those nuclear sites. The regime then
why
sought
are we there now?
to rebuild their nuclear program at a totally different location, making clear they had no intention of abandoning their pursuit of nuclear weapons. They were also rapidly building a vast stockpile of conventional ballistic missiles and would soon have had missiles that could reach the American homeland, Europe, and virtually any other place on Earth. Iran's strategy was so obvious. They wanted to produce as many missiles as possible, and they did, with the longest range possible, and they had some weapons that nobody believed they had. We just learned that out. We took them out. We took them all out so that no one would really dare stop them. And their race for a nuclear bomb, a nuclear weapon like nobody's ever seen before. They were right at the doorstep. For years, everyone has said that Iran cannot have nuclear weapons, but in the end, those are just words if you're not willing to take action when the time comes. As I stated in my announcement of Operation Epic Fury, our objectives are very simple and clear. We are systematically dismantling the regime's ability to threaten America or project power outside of their borders. That means eliminating Iran's Navy, which is now absolutely destroyed, hurting their Air Force and their missile program at levels never seen before, and annihilating their defense industrial base. We've done all of it. Their Navy is gone. Their Air Force is gone. Their missiles are just about used up or beaten. Taken together, these actions will cripple Iran military, crush their ability to support terrorist proxies, and deny them the ability to build a nuclear bomb. Our armed forces have been extraordinary. There's never been anything like it militarily. Everyone is talking about it, and tonight I'm pleased to say that these core strategic objectives are nearing completion. As we celebrate this progress, we think especially of the 13 American warriors who have laid down their lives in this fight to prevent our children from ever having to face a nuclear Iran. Twice this past month, I've traveled to Dover Air Force Base, and it's been something. I wanted to be with those heroes as they return to American soil, and I was with them and their families, their parents, their wives, their husbands. We salute them, and now we must honor them by completing the mission for which they gave their lives. And every single one of the people, their loved ones said, "Please, sir, please finish the job," every one of them. And we are going to finish the job, and we're going to finish it very fast. We're getting very close. I want to thank our allies in the Middle East, Israel, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE, Kuwait, and Bahrain. They've been great, and we will not let them get hurt or fail in any way, shape, or form. Many Americans have been concerned to see the recent rise in gasoline prices here at home. This short-term increase has been entirely the result of the Iranian regime launching deranged terror attacks against commercial oil tankers in neighboring countries that have nothing to do with the conflict. This is yet more proof that Iran can never be trusted with nuclear weapons. They will use them, and they will use them quickly. It would lead to decades of extortion, economic pain, and instability worse than we can ever imagine. The United States has never been better prepared economically to confront this threat. You all know that. We built the strongest economy in history. We're going through it right now, the strongest in history. In 1 year, we've taken a dead and crippled country. I hate to say that, but we were a dead and crippled country after the last administration and made it the hottest country anywhere in the world by far, with no inflation, record-setting investments coming into the United
No
States, over
inflation,
$18
he
trillion,
just said. No
and the highest
inflation.
stock market ever, with 53 all-time record highs in just 1 year. It all positioned us to get rid of a cancer that has long simmered. It's known as the nuclear Iran, and they didn't know what was coming. They've never imagined it. Remember, because of our drill baby drill program, America has plenty of gas. We have so much gas. Under my leadership, we are #1 producer of oil and gas on the planet, without even discussing the millions of barrels that we're getting from Venezuela. Because of the Trump administration's policies, we produce more oil and gas than Saudi Arabia and Russia combined. Think of that, Saudi Arabia and Russia combined. And that number will soon be substantially higher than that. There's no country like us anywhere in the world, and we're in great shape for the future. The United States imports almost no oil through the Hormuz Strait and won't be taking any in the future. We don't need it. We haven't needed it, and we don't need it. We've beaten and completely decimated Iran. They are decimated, both militarily and economically and in every other way. And the countries of the world that do receive oil through the Hormuz Strait must take care of that passage. They must cherish it. They must grab it and cherish it. They can do it easily. We will be helpful, but they should take the lead in protecting the oil that they so desperately depend on. So to those countries that can't get fuel, many of which refuse to get involved in the decapitation of Iran, we had to do it ourselves. I have a suggestion. #1, buy oil from the United States of America. We have plenty. We have so much. And #2, build up some delayed courage. Should have done it before. Should have done it with us, as we asked. Go to the Strait and just take it, protect it, use it for yourselves. Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done, so it should be easy. And in any event, when this conflict is over, the Strait will open up naturally. It'll just open up naturally. They're going to want to be able to sell oil because that's all they have to try and rebuild. It will resume the flowing, and the gas prices will rapidly come back down. Stock prices will rapidly go back up. They haven't come down very much, frankly. They came down a little bit, but they've had some very good days over the last couple of days. We've done actually much better than I thought, but we had to take that little journey to Iran to get rid of this horrible threat. With our historic tax cuts, where people are just now talking about receiving larger refunds than they ever thought possible, they are getting so much more money than they thought. That's from the great big beautiful bill. Our economy is strong and improving by the day, and it will soon be roaring back like never before. It will top the levels that it was a month ago. I've made clear from the beginning of Operation Epic Fury that we will continue until our objectives are fully achieved. Thanks to the progress we've made, I can say tonight that we are on track to complete all of America's military objectives shortly, very shortly. We're going to hit them extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong. In the meantime, discussions are ongoing. Regime change was not our goal. We never said regime change, but regime change has occurred because of all of their original leaders' death. They're all dead. The new group is less radical and much more reasonable. Yet if during this period of time no deal is made, we have our eyes on key targets. If there is no deal, we are going to hit each and every one of their electric generating plants very hard and probably simultaneously. We have not hit their oil, even though that's the easiest target of all, because it would not give them even a small chance of survival or rebuilding. But we could hit it, and it would be gone, and there's not a thing they could do about it. They have no anti-aircraft equipment. Their radar is 100% annihilated. We are unstoppable as a military force. The nuclear sites that we obliterated with the B-2 bombers have been hit so hard that it would take months to get near the nuclear dust, and we have it under intense satellite surveillance and control. If we see them make a move, even a move for it, we'll hit them with missiles very hard again. We have all the cards, they have none. It's very important that we keep this conflict in perspective. American involvement in World War I lasted 1 year, 7 months, and 5 days. World War II lasted for 3 years, 8 months, and 25 days. The Korean War lasted for 3 years, 1 month, and 2 days. The Vietnam War lasted for 19 years, 5 months, and 29 days. Iraq went on for 8 years, 8 months, and 28 days. We are in this military operation, so powerful, so brilliant, against one of the most powerful countries for 32 days. And the country has been eviscerated and essentially is really no longer a threat. They were the bully of the Middle East, but they're the bully no longer. This is a true investment in your children and your grandchildren's future. The whole world is watching, and they can't leave the power, strength, and brilliance. They just can't believe what they're seeing. They leave it to your imagination, but they can't believe what they're seeing, the brilliance of the United States military. Tonight, every American can look forward to a day when we are finally free from the wickedness of Iranian aggression and the specter of nuclear blackmail. Because of the actions we have taken, we are on the cusp of ending Iran's sinister threat to America and the world. And I'll tell you, the world is watching. And when we do, when it's all over, the United States will be safer, stronger, more prosperous, and greater than it has ever been before. May God bless the men and women of the United States Armed Forces, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much, and good night.
Wow, dude. The
Any
gaslighting.
questions? Any questions he's taking?
Hush up, hush up. The gaslighting. First, he tells us the war is almost over. Iran's no longer a threat. Then he says maybe 2 to 3 more weeks. Well, if you haven't noticed, 2 to 3 more weeks is almost it is half to 3/4 of what we're already at. They started telling us 2 to 3 weeks. As a matter of fact, they started telling us 4 to 5 days. Then it was a week. Then it was 2 weeks. Then it was 2 months. Right? What is going on here? He did not say anything. He just begged the EU to go take the Strait of Hormuz so that gas can flow. That's what just happened. That is embarrassing. That is embarrassing. Go ahead, Dr. Strange. We don't have to raise our hands. Just don't talk over each other. Let's start with Dr. Strange.
Hey, Diligent. Thanks, sir. Give me the mic. I appreciate it. So what he did here was change the goalpost. He's been trying to change the goalpost for some time. The whole initiative early on for this was to pursue regime change, and that failed miserably, right? And it sucks to be a monarchist who's going around all these Iranians who live in the West, and they were basically cheering on, thinking that they were going to go back in and put in Reza Pahlavi. So that's one. Second, the markets are going to plummet tomorrow if my assessment's accurate, because the markets they were looking forward to hearing that, Trump is about to make a deal or they're working on a deal. None of that was mentioned in his speech. It was more like, we've just changed the goalposts where we've already accomplished regime change, which is BS. There was no such thing as regime change. The regime is still there intact. You just removed one of their leaders and they replace it with somebody else. The regime is still intact. This is playing word semantics or verbal diarrhea with your words to try to fool people. But in reality, it's the same regime and it will continue to be the same regime. The last point I wanted to make was the Iranians and Trump are basically playing a game of for lack of a better word, game of chicken, where they know that they want to inflict pain by ensuring that the global economy essentially goes down the shitter. They're saying that they're facing an existential threat, and they're saying if we're going to go down, we're going to bring everybody else down with us. And they're saying we didn't start this. And Trump is trying to downplay it as much as possible that, you know, essentially nothing of that sort's going to happen. The Strait of Hormuz is going to be open, or it's not going to impact us. And it's really everybody else that needs to come in and clean up the mess that we caused subsequently. So, all in all, I do see a change in direction from Trump, for the Trump administration. They've been trying to lay the crumbs for the past few weeks, I would say, that they've accomplished their goals in terms of regime change. But ultimately, it was nothing what we had initially were sold with. And look, I want to go back. As much as you want to blame President Trump for any of this stuff, you really have to hold Israel responsible too. Because so long as you have a relationship with this country in this way, they'll continue to influence and dominate our politics and take us into forever wars. This easily costs us trillions of dollars if you were to just assess the impact that it had on the stock market. And a lot of people actually took hardship withdrawals because they were suffering. So taking that into consideration, there needs to be, if the US is ever going to be independent and actually move forward, there needs to be a reset with this abusive relationship where they dominate so many aspects of our foreign policy. And I'll leave it at that. I'll land there. Thanks.
Absolutely on that, bro. The thing is, it's like Dr. Shana, you don't understand. This has become. I mean, it's. I studied. I researched this all last night. And Trump set this up to where I mean, like he's got hex set in there for a reason. Bondi, everything is strategically put in there to do the bidding. I'm still trying to figure out JD Vance's part, but that's the whole thing. Like they have man, and it's sickening or whatever, but they have weaponized ideology and religion into a war or whatever, because you got half of the dispensationalists, they'll talk about the Gog Magog war, and then you got Pete Hegseth, which wants to go redo the whole third temple, because that's what, like Crusader type or whatever. And that's the whole separation, the whole First Amendment thing is a big deal, and it's a real big deal to me. That's my baby right there. But we gotta like
Coyote, to your point, I was in Mario's space as a speaker a few days ago, and I pointed to the same thing because I've noticed a lot of Zionists who are now basically trying to blame Trump for everything. And I said, look, Netanyahu and Israel is equally to be blamed for. So if you're going to put the blame, you really do need to point the finger at both. And they called me an anti-Semite because I
But we
said,
don't have the power to do anything about both. We
but
only have the power to do anything here.
we
we
can
don't.
do
But as
the ideology.
Hold on,
unless and
stop,
until
stop.
we acknowledge, that this relationship is toxic and it's affecting us
Okay,
in numerous
even
ways.
then, the link is us, right? Like even if you acknowledge that Israel is costing American lives and making it hard for the American people, you still have to change something here. That's always been my point. You can blame
Agreed.
Israel all day
Agreed.
long, but it doesn't matter if you don't fix what's wrong at home. It all
But if
depends on
people
fixing what's wrong at home.
I'm with you, Diligent. But if people are not, if you don't raise enough awareness, where you say, look, if you elect these kind of politicians who continuously simps for Israel, you're going to have the same shit over and over and over again. Unless we start to focus and elect politicians who will basically have a reset. And I'm not one of those people who are basically saying, oh, uh, dead with Israel or something. I'm just saying this relationship is toxic. You need a reset, and you need to put in the right people in place. You need to have individuals like the Masseys of the world, like others, who will put America first. That's all. And you need to raise enough awareness because there's a lot of cowardice where people will not even mention Israel. Historically, there was a lot more. Obviously, things have changed, but I've seen so much cowardice that people will never criticize or accuse Israel of their wrongdoing. They'll point the finger at Trump, but they will not say that this relationship is an issue as well. I just wanted to make the point is to raise enough awareness to realize that we need politicians who will change this relationship so it benefits us and it's not a one-way direction. That's all.
It goes back though to the late 1800s and all this, man, where They planned this for a long time, and I mean, they did their thing on it or whatever. But that's the whole thing. It is Doctor Strange has got a point, but it's hard to make that kind of especially nowadays, bro. Anything you try to do that's good, that's admirable or whatever, or try to like tell somebody, hey, did you hear about this shit? It pertains to your life. They fucking yell at you. It's like, what? Like, bro, why are you yelling at me? I don't know. I'm just angry. But we gotta get past. This is not healthy. I know that. There's when they said no boots on the ground, bro. Israel, like, bitch, you got me messed up. We got to get out of there.
Yeah. The gaslighting is incredible, though. I mean, like, we're
It was
winning big.
so gaslit,
It's
dude. Like,
so gross.
wow.
It's so gross. Like, we're doing, like the economy's never been better. Like, all the thing in
Did he say
every
he killed a
direction.
dude? Since
He
I killed that
literally
bitch.
said inflation is zero. How can you say that? Nothing is cheaper. Nothing.
Nothing. In fact,
Nothing
beef has
is
gone up.
cheaper.
Compared
Everything
to
is going
compared to
up.
wages though, it's went down. So
Oh, shut up,
Oh yeah,
logic.
that's pumped bullshit, bro. You go buy
just go look it
groceries.
up.
You go buy groceries, right? Americans don't judge the economy by what the jobs number are compared to the inflation rate that the manufactured machine numbers that props out that Biden did. He's doing the same thing Biden did. The exact same fucking thing. Cooking the numbers, right? Americans know if inflation's up when they go to the gas pump, when they go buy their groceries. That's what they know. They feel that in their wallets. And I can tell you, as a single man, right, who is shops once a week, it's insane how much money I pay for groceries, dude. I live alone. You know what I mean? Like it's nuts. I don't ever remember paying $400 to $500 at minimum to eat every week, right? Like that is, I mean, to eat every month. That's nuts. That is absolutely nuts. This is unsustainable. It is absolutely unsustainable. How much money is this war costing us? Hmm?
And it's
Not just in the actual cost of sending the military over there, but how much is it costing American taxpayers in inflation, which is a tax, right? And gas, which is a tax. That's gas inflation, right? Like
I'd put it in
how
the
much?
billions. I'd put it way in the billions. Way in the billions.
We don't even
But
know. It's not something you can predict. He just told us,
I know,
"Oh, the
but
war
it's
is
a bunch of
almost
sense.
over. It'll be over shortly. It'll be over shortly. Oh, 2 to 3 more weeks. You know what's going to happen tomorrow? The stock market's going to tank and prices are going to go up in anticipation of 3 more weeks of war. That's what's going to happen."
Yeah, I think you're right. The only two places, like, the inflation might not matter when you're buying TVs or ordering like clothes off Amazon or Target, but the places that people care about are the gas pump and the grocery store, and those are clearly seeing effects, undoubtedly.
Yep, I think both sides of the argument agrees that prices have inflated in the beginning stages. We're looking the other side of this argument looks long term, right? So they don't look at the forward end; they look at that what could be accomplished on the back end.
I don't know. I felt completely lied to in that every word of it was garbage. But when I read the president of Iran's letter to me, it was honest. I couldn't even argue anything in it. And he would call them the Epstein coalition. But I will tell you that there has been no change in the regime. The president is still the same president, and the Ayatollah that was murdered, his son took his spot. So this every aspect of this is a lie, and we have no business, none. And the more I learn about this country, wow, the more impressed I am. I'm like, no wonder why these people are so proud. They're in the street. There's thousands, I mean thousands, and they don't even care. I saw this one video of bombs going on near that by them. They didn't even flinch. These people are what they did was they made them tighter and are ready to defend their own nation. And what we're going to do with our troops by putting them on the ground is putting them in a meat grinder. There's going to be so many. They're not even telling the truth about the numbers that we have lost already. there has been a lot of losses of American lives. And if they do invade this country, it's going to be a really nasty.
And anybody else tired like since 1979 and then the Beirut like that? I was always taught Hezbollah did that, but now it's Iran, and because they funded them. And if you go back in history and hear that, that was just basically a phone call. Somebody said, "Hey, we did that," and they just kind of put it in there. But a Mossad agent wrote a book about that he did it, but the other Mossad agents debunked it evidently, and their slogans kind of by way of deception. Oh my God. But the old shit kills me. It's like we gotta go over there and change their religion. We gotta free these people that we put into this place. After we put them into this monarchy kind of place,
I
then
have
we
a
put it.
question. Is everyone exercising? Like, are you guys at the gym? Are you going through this like run? Everyone sounds
I'm
completely out
I'm
of
on the
breath.
I'm
I've
on the
been walking. Thank
treadmill.
Um,
you.
I'm outside walking, so yeah,
I'm on the
I
Yeah.
think
treadmill.
I'm so.
But right now, I think the reason why Israel has refused to send troops to Iran is because they're busy bombing Christian villages in southern Lebanon and have said that they are going to demolish 600,000 homes. They are taking southern Lebanon. They are killing people in mass. I've watched the bomb. It's really sick. I can't believe the world is allowing us to do this. I really can't.
What are they supposed to do about it?
They've done over 12, bro.
What are they supposed to do about it?
I
Who's
don't
going
know.
to
I thought
stop
that
us?
Our
genocide.
ambassador.
I thought that never again is now. Like we don't allow that. The world doesn't. Would never. Be okay with a genocide, and Americans paying for it and sending our troops on their behalf while they genocide another people at the same time. Like it's just, what do you mean? What are they supposed to do? We need to do something. The world should do something. Cut off
I think we.
Israel.
I think that we're the only ones that can do anything. It's our government, right? That's what I'm saying. Who else has the capability of stopping this? Nobody. Nobody has the ability to stop it. The American people have got to get to a point where they said enough is enough, and I don't think we're quite there yet. And that's really unfortunate because we're on the precipice of a really, really dark future. And it makes me very, very concerned for my daughter's future. I saw this clip earlier of Katie McMennany, or whatever her name is, on Fox News saying that most Americans feel safer than they ever have. And I was sitting there thinking, how fucking out of touch the gaslighting. Let me tell you, I got involved with politics after being apathetic about politics since I was a teenager, right? I voted one time when I was 18 and then never voted again until I voted for Trump, right? Just this in 2024. It's the first time in 24 years or 23 years or whatever that I had voted for a president. And the reason why is because I was concerned about my daughter's future. I felt like if I did not get involved, I was leaving my daughter and our younger generation to a very, very dark future. And I have to say, I am 10 times more concerned for her future right now than I was when I got political. And that is crazy because we won. We won. And it's just it's the same. It's Biden. It's the gaslighting. It's the blatant lies. It's the hypocrisy. It's everything that we saw under Biden is happening right now. It is Biden. Even more corrupt. Even more corrupt. Made way more money than Biden's family did while he was in office. Way more. Trump's made billions in the 1 year. Billions. Doubled his entire family's net worth in 1 year. I agree with I agree. What's the Infowars guy? He follows me. I can't think of his name.
Rex or Alex? Oh,
Harrison Smith.
Harrison.
No, the other one, the one that quit.
Geyser.
Owen.
Owen
Owen.
Owen.
Owen Shroyer.
Owen Schroyer. He said it the other day, and I have to agree with him. I think we're looking at the most corrupt presidency in history. The most corrupt. I think that you are going to have people begging to impeach him in 2026 or 2028 or 7. Begging. I'm not even joking. I think that they'll use Epstein files and the unpopularity of him, and the Democrats are gonna take it, right? And there's going to be such a demand to impeach Trump that they'll probably go through with it and install JD Vance, then we're controlled by Peter Thiel's network, which is the CIA. So, and it won't be like in the background shadows anymore. It won't be that quiet thing we don't talk about. It'll be out there in Front Street. I
Actually, Diligent, I don't think they could impeach him, but they won't be able to remove him because you have to have like a super majority to support
You only
that.
have to have 60, and they're trying to get rid of the filibuster. I disagree. I think that you might have enough Republicans begging to remove him by 2027 that it could be possible. I disagree. If they lose enough um, Senate seats, which is entirely possible, it's going to be a swarm in the House. But if they lose enough Senate seats, I think as a result of all of these policies and the corruption, you're going to see Republicans begging to get him out of there. And it might happen. And I think I called this last summer, right? When I saw what they were doing with the narrative around Epstein and Trump, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I was like, my gut tells me, my intuition tells me that they're going to use this as a seed to remove him and install JD Vance. And as this timeline continues to go along, Charlie Kirk gets assassinated. There's no opposition from the youngins to the war, which they are opposed to it, by the way. As this timeline moves along, it more and more increasingly looks that way. His popularity is tanked. It's toast, right?
He's a
It's
piece of
absolutely
shit.
toast. It's absolutely toast. Let's watch the language a little bit because I am on YouTube. But go ahead, Louis. What do you have to say about it?
No, I just seen the hey, how you doing anyway? My name's Lou, by the way. I just seen his speech and his whole bunch of bullshit he was saying. How just a bunch of bullshit, man. It's just crazy.
Okay. Go ahead, Amir.
No, I was just gonna say, I think you're right. That makes a lot of sense. I agree with you. I think you're absolutely spot on that. We are seeing that, and this midterm is going to be a bloodbath. I mean, we saw it happen starting already. I know. I'm sure. I think Jared agreed with that. I don't think he's here anymore.
Logic. What do you think, man? How are you going to defend this?
Hey, bro. Well, I'm singing with my daughter right now for like the last
Okay.
5 seconds. Sorry, I lost.
How are you going to defend what Trump's doing, though? Anybody want to try to
Well,
defend it?
hey, well, when
If
you
you
say what
if you
Trump's,
want to defend what's happening with Iran right now and what's happening with policy, please request the microphone. I would love for somebody to come up here and explain to me how this benefits us at all.
Can
Anybody?
I take a hack at that, Diligent?
Go ahead.
Well, th- not everybody will agree with this, but if we do this, given that we've done this, we will be blessed because we kind of helped Israel. So we will get all those blessings that we were promised to in the Bible. So you have to take that into consideration.
Oh, I know. Yitz told me that. He told me that if I bless Israel as they wipe out their enemies, then I too shall be blessed. When does that happen?
After Gog and Magog, well, it depends on if you're Pete Hegseth or the other ones.
so I just want to posit like, does nobody see a pathway to anything positive from this? So like, is that how does everybody
No,
like?
No.
What's your so like that's kind of where like the dichotomy is, right? So it's like you've got people that sees no pathway to good, and then you've got people that sees pathway to good, and I kind of want to go and get back and forth on that dichotomy.
So you got the track record, right? Regime changes, we are O in everything, right? And then we have being successfully switching them to a democracy. We're still O for killing a bunch of people, getting our people killed, leaving it a lot more worse than it was when we got there, or whatever. I mean, it's terrible how we did that. And plus, this is the Persian fucking Empire, bro. This isn't like Iraq or Afghanistan. Look how long we were in Afghanistan. That's it's like we don't learn a lesson, and that we want to go get uranium. I thought we were just helping Israel, and then now it's like, oh, we're not doing boots on the ground, but we're going to do the secret Iranian uranium. How quick we are to accept that, it blows my mind. Fuck that uranium. Let them people have that shit.
And you know what?
Well,
Trump knew
well,
already. Wait, Trump knew already because the other night he told us, watch Mark Levin, everybody. And that's what Mark Levin was saying. We need to go in and get the uranium. So this is already part of the plan. And I don't know if you guys caught it, but his spiritual advisor was comparing him to Jesus today. It's so gross. It makes me want to vomit.
She's the one that keeps
that shit
saying,
is wild though. That shit is
yeah.
wild as fuck.
Logic, have you seen her where she constantly says that if we help Israel, basically God will bless us because if we basically do Israel's bidding, God will bless us. And she's the spiritual advisor to Trump that constantly pushes this.
If I've seen it, I could give a shit less. It's like spiritual, like all this stuff. None of that stuff really matters to me. It's like
Well,
it's like it's
Christianity.
like invoking
How about,
a
can you walk us through how
spirituality that
can
doesn't
you
make sense.
can you walk us through how this is going to be a good thing for us? You were the one that brought it up. So can you lay that out for us?
Well, yes, I could. So like, um, pre 1979, whenever we had arms deals and everything like that with Iran with the Shah, everything was working good. We had normalized trade. The country, like everything was good. We were working back and forth as two countries. And then 79 happened, and then this Islamic regime shut everything down and took hostages of ours. And then um, Jimmy Carter, in the negotiations, decided that he was going to obfuscate and continue the deal that we made with the Shah on the arms deals, and then it made it all the way to Obama giving 1.7 billion.
Okay.
So it's like all this stuff matters all the way to this thing. So it's like there's a long lineage to this. You can't
Okay.
just do it's not just one thing or the other, and it takes time. So like what I would like to think is that Trump's making an investment here. He's saying, "Hey, I know what the investment is. It's huge, right? I got to pay $1 billion for a fucking building
He's not
that I don't
making
even
the
know it's going to be
investment. Whoa,
made."
whoa, 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 whoa.
No,
He's not
no,
making
he
any
is.
investment.
Well, he
We're
is. He's
making the
doing it.
investment. He's
No, I
making
get it. No,
yes.
wait.
No, well, okay,
It's
so
not a
he's not making an
monetary,
investment.
not a monetary thing. I'm talking about his legacy, right? They're still trying to build his library. That's going to be the biggest thing that's ever existed.
That's gone,
Okay,
bro.
so he wants to go and make his legacy the best thing that ever happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
For him.
if he does actually pull this off, we will be in a better place. Like
But let me see. Let me see if we can do something real quick.
can you guys concede that though? Like
Yeah.
just
I'll
Logic,
concede that
concede
what's
it.
ground. If
pulling
he
it
does
off?
pull it off,
Explain to me what pulling it off means.
that we have normalized relations and trade with the Iranian
Not gonna
people.
happen. You got
No,
oil
that's but
ice
that's what's
holding.
I know,
But
but
here, hold
you're
on.
just
Here, I
saying no.
listen to
Wait,
you.
no,
You don't
Hear me
do
out.
that
stop.
Hear me
by
out.
bombing the people
Yeah.
and their
His
civilians.
geopolitics are
But
off.
come on,
Your
Yeah.
geopolitics are off, though. But okay, so
oh, wait.
1979 was the
Okay, on.
CIA. Did we have anything to do with that? You think the CIA was behind that a little bit? Probably so.
Of
Yes.
course.
And
Of
now we're
course.
going to change it back. We changed it from this and this. If we got to go to 1979 and 1983 and think of every country that's done some shit to us, we need to start fucking going and killing everybody, bro. Like this whole fucking world or whatever.
Bro, easy, bro. I'm on YouTube. You can't
Sorry.
say stuff like that. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm joking.
Stop.
I'm being facetious, but seriously though, that's what sense it makes.
In
1979. I wasn't
Minecraft. In
alive.
Minecraft. In Minecraft.
In
Say
Minecraft.
it.
Yes, I'm saying I
Thank
wasn't
you.
alive in Minecraft. I was not alive. Then why would I care? Like what happened? I don't even know
Great game.
exactly what happened in Minecraft.
So I know. So can you? But can you concede that there is an actual like legitimate net positive that can be reached.
You're supposed
No,
to give that
You
to
can't
us.
you can't I know,
You
but you
just
can't
gave
pursue
like
that.
this really obscure, vague, somehow it's going to be good. Can you lay out explicitly the positives? Like there's a pros and
Okay,
cons.
so
Give me the
okay.
pros.
Okay, so here's what it is. So since 79, they're out there in Iran. They have the Strait of Hormuz that we have to go and move oil through, move trade through for 50 plus years. Okay. Now, just because they haven't done necessarily operations there doesn't mean that there's not a risk that has to be paid on the commodities markets.
they didn't
And
charge us.
it might only be 1 or 2%, but 1 or 2% over the course of 50 years is trillions of dollars in the
OPEC Plus
commodities
ran
markets
that before I ran, bro.
because because we have to worry about this regime that's off this coast where trade goes through.
Iran
So
is
the
with OPEC
idea that
Plus.
the whole
No,
entire
but answer
world
that.
pays more money, the whole entire world pays more money in commodity prices, except for the ones
Who's
that
in OPEC
skirt
Plus?
sanctions and what? Who
Who's in
cares? I'm
OPEC
not.
Plus?
Who
Who's the founder
cares?
of it?
And not only that, it
Who
was
cares?
open and it was for free. They didn't even charge a
OPEC
toll,
Plus is the
even
number
though,
one. Oh,
wait
I'm
a
just
minute,
going to real
even
quick.
though we had sanctions on them for all these years, they were allowing it to. This is their only option for leeway here. So,
OPEC.
I
But
mean,
I just want to say he's got to understand, like OPEC Plus, which is Iran was a founder of it with the other places. They had a good thing going. That's who ran the commodities. That's who ran it. It wasn't Iran. Now they do. Now they got that thing because that's their little area or whatever. But
No, wait a
who went
minute.
over there and made them do
Wait.
that?
No. Stop. Iran is not part of OPEC in any way,
OPEC
shape, or
Plus.
form right now.
Oh, right
Right now, and
now?
that's right now. That's the whole
Since
problem.
when?
That was. What do you mean since when?
Look it up. Look
When
it
was the
up.
last time? When was the last time that they were a part of OPEC?
OPEC
When do you think that they
or
were
OPEC
actually a
Plus.
part of OPEC?
Are you saying OPEC or OPEC Plus?
Either one. When
Do
was
you
the
know the
last time
difference?
that
Well,
either one?
let's not. Can you just tell him like listen to this back and forth is exhausting.
no, I don't think they
Wait a
were
second.
part of OPEC because
Iran
of the
is part of
sanctions.
OPEC. Hold on, guys. Iran is part of OPEC. I don't know if you know this. Good logic. You can look it up.
Mhm.
Iran's been part of OPEC from God knows when. Good
Founders.
logic. Look, let me. And they're still part of OPEC. The point that you're making. Let me be. Let me take your side and explain to you how Trump can come out of this positive. And let me tell you why it can't. It's not working or it won't work. Iran is not an imminent threat to the US. It never was. Iran can actually they're very keen to actually work out a deal with the US because it removes sanctions and their economy can really move up. They've been trying for decades to work out some sort of a deal with the US. The issue is not the US. The issue is that we've got a stepson called King Joffrey who wants to eliminate any power in the Middle East. I'm referring to Israel, of course, that could potentially be a threat to them. So if Israel was not in the way, I guarantee you Trump would easily make a major deal that can be beneficial to the US and Iran. But so long as Israel's in the picture, he's not going to be able to because their focus, their objectives are different. They want to ensure that they remove any powerful threat in that region or any powerful entity that they've not subjugated in that region. So for that reason, it will never see the light of day. That's why they killed JCPOA. That was actually a decent deal for us. If you actually go study it, it wasn't a bad deal. It actually was beneficial for us. It was not beneficial for Israel and their objectives, but ultimately it served our objective.
And
Iran
Iran
was never going to,
followed and Iran followed it. They never
yes,
ever broke from
yes.
it.
So
I
good
mean, but you
logic,
can't say that. It's just like no, like
logic.
so. Here's what I'm saying. So whenever you say that Iran was part of OPEC, right? They were founding members in 1960, right? What government was that? That was the Shah, right? So then 1979, is that same government still a part of OPEC after 1979?
To this
Yeah,
day.
OPEC is still part of, I mean, Iran is still part of OPEC.
It
I
has
but
been
is it? But
forever.
I know, but is it truly though? Like because it's a different government that signed up.
What do you
What
mean?
difference
Is it
does it
different
What
matter?
do
then?
We
you
have different
mean,
No,
bro?
no,
presidents.
they
Like you're
are.
arguing
What
semantics.
currency are
I don't
they
want to argue
trading?
about OPEC anymore. I don't want to argue about OPEC anymore. What were you saying, Franny?
I was just saying, why does any of that matter if they're trading in a different currency other than the American or the petrodollar?
Good point. Good point.
So I guess my question would be: so what did you even have any pros logic? I heard. I mean, I didn't
Well,
really.
there was one right there. It's like, why would you want the fourth largest reserve to trade in something other than our dollar? How does that help the United States?
Because all
Well,
that
can I
history
get that?
talk is all great and stuff, but going forward, if all of a sudden they're selling all the oil in the yen, like we're pretty much screwed.
Well, hey, we're not doing the best though. We're shorting the hell out of the dollar back home. It's like they're
Well,
trying
and
to
that's
trash it.
more so to the point.
He's
So
leaving.
like, well, how was it? How was it good
You're
that
awfully
we want to give
quiet
up?
for being pro this war. I mean, can you give us some? Is that really all you got? Like, come on, come up with some.
I just did right. So like, nobody's counted it yet, right? The
You were
fourth
wrong about
largest
OPEC,
reserves.
bro. You were
The
just
fourth
wrong about
largest,
OPEC.
but listen, the fourth largest reserves in the world were trading with us in the 1960s up to 1979 until there was a coup,
You're
right?
piggybacking off that
Eh,
lady. She got that. That's her go.
No, no. That's exactly what I was saying from the beginning. It's like we had normalized trade with Iran for 20 years until they got overthrown in 79. And then they took our hostages. You guys are acting like this didn't happen.
Do you want the Mad Gog War or something, bro? You got like the Third Temple vibes. Honestly, I'm not even being funny.
Yes, let's assume yes. So, right, what are you saying?
No, I'm just asking. I'm trying to understand you. I respect whatever.
Wild.
I
All
think
right.
there is a possible good scenario here that is probably something that most people are unaware of. I think if there is any good outcome to this, it's securing energy and resources for like the coming AI battle. And the goal, in combination with what's happening in Venezuela, is all to set us up along that path. That's the only like real positive outcome I can see is securing energy and resources so that we can really buckle down on AI, data centers, stuff like that. That's all I can think of, though.
I feel like we're doing the exact opposite by doing this, though. Don't y'all think?
Yeah, and Oracle laid off 30,000, I think it was about 30, approximately 30,000 employees so they can fund the data centers. Yeah, I don't think any of this is good, any of it. And I also think that us going to the moon today is total bullshit.
But it's a
I'm
good
not gonna. Don't do
distraction.
that. Don't do that. We're not doing that. You get the flat Earth spaces if you want to do that shit. We're not doing that here. All right, go ahead. Love you, Mira. Go ahead, Jessica.
I'm just curious. So are we now saying though Iran is good and they've always been good? And is that what I'm hearing on this space though? Because
Actually, yeah, compared to my own government, I would say I think I have to side with the Iranians here.
Wow, wow.
wow,
I
that's
kind of
crazy though.
agree.
Is that because that's not where I'm going to
Yeah,
stand?
wow. You tell me what our government has done the last 30 or 40 years across this world, the bullying that we have done, the
Then you
killing,
should go
the
live
lying.
there. Then you should go live
Yeah,
there
you know
because I've
what?
heard
Maybe
you
I
say
will
you
because you
should.
people are so fucking stupid.
Okay,
Let's
good. You
watch
should
the f
go.
bombs. Hey,
You
let's
should
not.
really go.
Let's watch the f bombs. Let's watch the personal
So
attacks.
I of course want to be
Jessica,
in.
Jessica, Jessica.
Yeah.
Imagine that. So, if you could just mute up when I'm speaking. Imagine that you are an Iranian citizen and your dad works at one of these oil facilities, right? And he just got bombed, even though he's not military, right? And this bombing is a result of a uninitiated attack from the United States and Israel. So just put yourself in this kid's shoe for a minute. Do you think that kid's going to grow up hating the United States?
I do. I can
Do you
see
think
both
that
sides,
kid could potentially dedicate his life to trying to destroy the United States?
but Diligent, I'm going to play devil's advocate. So
Oh, you didn't answer
how?
my question.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I can see it. I can see it. But I can also see how they can also hate their own government because I feel like they're split
How
and
do you
it's
know
none of
that
our
they hate their
business.
own government?
Well, they slaughtered, I don't know how many, even if it was 10,000, even if it was 5,000, because they didn't like it. They were protesting. They killed them. They just went out there and killed them because they were protesting.
No, you
Mm-hmm.
got
That's,
to understand
Because
intelligence, though.
our government never kills any of its own citizens. That never
but
happens.
not just straight up like that. Come on, Diligent.
Yeah. Yeah. Waco? There's numerous examples. Numerous examples. Huh?
We,
COVID? The jab? Come on, man.
we
Come
bombed the
on.
school over there, too.
You're not really like, come on. We got to stop drinking the fucking Kool-Aid. You're drinking the Kool-Aid. That country and its citizens did nothing wrong to us. They did not attack us. They didn't attack our bases. They didn't attack our people. The only time they fired a missile at one of our bases last year, they called and told us they were going to do it and then came up short before hitting the base, right? They have not invaded another country since 1940. Not once. They have not fired a missile onto another country that wasn't in retaliation
Yeah, but they messed with the
since
money.
1940. Since
But
1940. Hold
yeah,
on.
but
Hold on,
they messed
Angie.
with the
Please don't
money.
interrupt me. Please don't interrupt me. My point is, right, is that we are the aggressors here. And there's nothing wrong with saying that. But we need to own up to it. Not us, as in we the people, because obviously when I voted, we the people did not want this shit. So our rogue government, because that's what we're talking about here, it is a rogue government attacked a foreign country, right? And we are the bad guys. Period. In that scenario, right? We are killing people who have nothing to do with being terrorists, right? And saying, "Oh, well, your government funded terrorists, so it's okay." Right? That does not make it okay. There's no good guys in war. There is not. Right. And so Amira is perfectly justified in saying what she said. I now do I like, am I going to root against my own team? No. Right. Am I going to say, well, I hope they do something to us? No. But we need to get the fuck out of there. We have no business being over there. We did Operation Midnight Hammer on their nuclear testing or nuclear development facilities last year. There hasn't been any proof that they've had a credible threat to any of the neighboring countries or ourselves. They did so in retaliation, but they haven't struck the United States, even though we were the aggressor. Where's the bomb? Where's the proof that they were a threat? We're talking about existential crisis. They're fighting for their own survival, and they have not done shit to us, right? They've hit some of our bases, killed 12 of our people, but like in the broader scope of things, he just said it again tonight. President Trump said it tonight. They are no longer a threat. They were never a threat, but they are no longer a threat. But we're going to spend 2 or 3 more weeks there. And what do you say? We're going to send them back to the Stone Age. Well, you're talking about tens to hundreds of millions of people. Imagine what that's going to do. You think they're fucking radical now? Imagine what that's going to do to them. Imagine what that is going to do to them. This is crazy, bro. This is reckless, and it is feckless, and it is not what any of like my fellow. When I was in the heart of the campaign. I went to dozens of rallies in 2024, special guest access, right up there with all of the congressmen and senators and the fucking Con Inc. influencers. And I can tell you one conversation that never came up when I was there. It wasn't, man, I can't wait to get him elected so we can get in another forever war. I can't wait to get Trump elected so we can go to the Middle East and cost trillions of dollars. No, it was, Afghanistan pullout bad. Iraq bad. Endless wars bad. No more. End the war in Russia. That's what it was. This is not that, man. This is not good. This is not good. We are not the good guys here. You can say it all day long. You can listen to the fucking propaganda about Muslims or whatever, but we're not the good guys here. We're not. You can respond
That's
if
what
you want, Jessica, and then we're gonna go to Coyote and Strange.
No, I'm with you, and I voted for no wars. I think where I start getting like passionate about it is when people start saying shit about Americans and America, and that's where I'm just like, we can be mad at the government, but when we start talking shit about Americans, that's where I start getting like, we have to like draw a line there.
it's a hard line. I understand that too, though, because it's like I don't want to be in the. I'm rooting to get out of it, but I
Yeah,
can't root
I'm
for
rooting to get
us to
out of it,
lose.
but
And
I don't want, but at the same time, I'm still going to defend us.
I know, but I think our problem is like it's like dude, the bureaucrats making the decision are the issue, and I don't know if you know this. This may help some people out. The Persians, they're not Arabs. You know what I'm saying? Like they come from the same kind of Japheth bloodline as we do, the Europeans and whatnot. So it's not like that. Like they build stuff or whatever. They're not like tribalistic and everything like that. And everybody gets they don't look into that. If you kind of notice, they've always like they were at the man. We were so close to having peace negotiations, and that's why freaking Israel popped off with that thing because we were really right there. But yeah, they are not Arabs. They come from Japheth.
Yeah, Samantha
Jessica,
down in the comment section says, "Oh, she says this. I remember when it was reports where 5,000 were Iranians were killed in the protests, and it was no. First it was a few hundred, then it was a few thousand, then it was 5,000, then 10,000. Now it's up to 45,000. The number keeps changing. Imagine that.
And that's why
Um,
I said 5,000. That's why I kept it at 5,000 because I do notice
Isn't
that.
it amazing though that right
Yeah.
before we go to war with them, it just happens to be that thousands of protesters get killed? You don't think that there's
Yes. Yes.
a little
But
little convenient there?
the Mossad
Uh,
going in there, handing the weapons
if
off to
I,
the monarchs.
yep, that's a very good point, Patty. Jessica, I know where you're coming from, and I agree with you. At the end of the day, if you live in the U.S. and you're part of this country, you need to have some loyalty, and you try to fix what's wrong with it. I'm going to tell you a quick story that should kind of give you a glimpse of what we do and how it's advertised through our media. This is the story of Captain Dan Quinn, Green Beret. He went to Afghanistan, I think in the early 2007, 2008. He was there for a number of years. And then they basically discharged him, kicked him out. And for years, nobody knew why he was discharged. So he actually fought in court. And then when he fought in court, the truth came out of why they discharged him. The oh, Bush administration had a policy that where they basically aligned themselves or brought in all these allies who were some of the most rotten scoundrels in the face of this planet in Afghanistan, and they were our allies. And we were not allowed, or our forces were not allowed to basically do anything or say anything on their personal activities. They called it personal activities. Now, Captain Dan Quinn was kicked out of the armed forces. Somebody has a hot mic. So he was kicked out of the armed forces because he saw a Afghan ally who was fighting the war against the Taliban. This man has had abducted a 10-year-old boy, and he basically handcuffed him to his bed and would rape him every single night. And American forces were not allowed to tell that guy, you can't do this. The Bush administration had a policy saying we are not to engage or get involved in the personal activities of our allies. I swear to you, this you can look this up. Go look it up. There were numerous articles, and we only found out because Captain Dan Quinn was kicked out, and he fought this in court, and then we got to hear what was actually happening. So whatever the media tells you that all these women are being, you know, this and that happening to them, we need to go free the women of Iran or Afghanistan. At the end of the day, it's all one psyop. they're doing you a disservice that this many thousands of people are being killed. The reality is far different. And when we do go in there, we end up replacing some bad people with worse people, far worse. It's never, morality never plays a role in this shit. It never did. It's just a matter of national interest. This guy we don't like, we need to remove him and bring in somebody else that's going to do our bidding. It's as simple as that. So when people come in here and tell me that more push the moral faggotry, it just goes to show me how much we're psyoped through our own media. Nobody will tell you the story. It never got covered on CNN or any of the other stuff. There were so many other criminals whom we gave tens of millions of dollars, erected, put in place, including the Shah of Iran. For those of you who don't know, the Shah of Iran was one of the most brutal dictators, monarchs that we put in place. We replaced a democratically elected member. He was a prime minister in Iran, and we replaced him with the Shah through CIA's effort, and the British. The British really were behind it, and of course the Israelis. But at the end of the day, we replaced him with a monarchy, and then even the monarchy, if you really dig deep into it, we kind of also allowed in a roundabout way for the monarchy to be toppled because the monarch turned on us. In the 70s, the monarch was turning on us. Thus, it was a good opportunity to and guess where Ayatollah Khomeini came from? He wasn't in Iran. We imported his ass from France to go into Iran, and then they did the coup d'etat or the revolution, whatever. So please, for the love of God, don't believe what we hear on Fox News or our media because they've done their greatest disservice to us. And they've lied to us over and over and over. And that's why these spaces are so important because for the first time, we're being awakened to the reality of what's actually happening on the ground versus the media gatekeeping and pushing wars on us. Because 20 some odd years of forever wars, $21 trillion wasted down the drain, thousands of servicemen lost, and we got nothing for it. I apologize for the long windedness, but I just wanted to tackle that point because it's so important. Thanks.
Yeah, I just want to say, make sure you guys are following Julian, my co-host, everybody up on stage. You guys are all legends. Coyote is Spaces host. If you want to support what I'm doing, the best way is by going to my X profile, turn all notifications on, and you'll get notified when we host these spaces. If you want to show support, there's a pink button on my profile. I do subscriber only after spaces to give value to my subscribers. That's how I continue to do this, free, independent of being sponsored, working for anybody else, and I stay free to write and cover what I want. So that's how we do that. Eddie, what did you think about Trump's speech tonight, brother?
I think he's right on target. I don't want to stop the war now. I want to finish it.
What?
I think
What?
leaving at this point, I want to finish it. I think it's stupid.
What does that mean? Can you describe what finish it means? Can you
I mean,
define that for me?
At this point, I would say, I don't know why they're dancing around the subject. I would say we want to go for regime change. I mean, at this point, what the fuck are we doing? If we're going to just walk away, what did we do? We shouldn't have done it.
I mean, we didn't want to do it. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Well, you didn't want to do it. I mean, Trump obviously did. Now Trump is the only president.
Was regime change of Iran was that on the voting ticket when you voted for Trump?
Well, that's beside the point, Diligent.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. Because he obviously Trump. I don't have the intelligence that Trump was delivered. I have no idea what he saw. I mean, there's all kinds of objectives that you might not agree with, but there are objectives in this war that, if they work out positively for the United States, will work out very well.
How is this going to work out? How is this going to work out positively?
Well, first of all, you've set them back. They're not going to have a nuclear weapon. You set them back, 20 years? They're not going to have a nuclear weapon.
Last year?
Well, we'll move on. You've degraded their capacity to fire missiles by leaps and bounds. They don't have that.
Then how are they still striking
anymore.
the Strait of Hormuz?
Well, I mean, they still got some missiles, dude, but they're very much degraded. Okay.
Russia and China.
What?
Russia and China have their back.
I'm not seeing that. Where's Russia and China?
All the missiles, you know, a lot of them wasn't. They didn't build them all.
Iran, Russia, and China were in an alliance together,
So
right?
so
Now,
how does missile capacity being taken down? How does that benefit the United States when they weren't using missiles on us?
well, that goes into the region, right? The Middle East region. Now, the Middle East region is going to be one of the largest growing regions in the world in the very near future. And the United States wants to be a leader in that. Obviously, I mean, Trump goes to UAE, Qatar. I mean, we're making deals with them, right? So we're going to be a leader in that. They're very big in energy, which need. But I mean, you're also weakening Iran's ability to function with their proxy networks around the region, right?
You,
That's going to be greatly diminished, which is going to make Israel safer. I don't care if you don't like Israel;
But do you
it's
know
going to
we got
make them
proxies,
safer.
right? We got proxies over there too.
why would I want to spend my money or my resources or my kid's life to make Israel safer?
Well, it's
Even
not.
I don't want them to be not safe, right? I don't have anything against them. Why should I have to sacrifice for their strategic wins?
Well, it's not just for Israel. I mean, it's for the United States as well.
How? If they weren't a
How?
threat to us, if they weren't a threat to us, I still don't understand. You said Israel, but okay, how does that benefit us?
Well, it benefits us in a lot of different ways. It benefits us in security, and it benefits us in economically. I mean, we have allies over there in the Gulf region and
It seems
throughout.
like it's costing us economically, is it
You know
not?
how much money we've given to them since they were formed?
I'm just saying, like right now, it seems like it's costing us quite a bit economically, is it not, Eddie?
Yeah, in the short term, it obviously have
Yeah. So
cost us
when we
to
get into
drop
these
bombs.
regime
It's
change
not
wars
free.
in the Middle East, and we're told all of these things that we've heard before with Afghanistan and Iraq, we've heard this before, even in Kuwait,
I
right?
understand.
Has the juice been worth the squeeze, Eddie?
Well, that's yet to be seen.
Okay,
We
so
haven't seen the.
historically, though, when we've gotten into these wars in the Middle East, these interventions with these foreign states, and this one is by far the toughest, the biggest GDP, the biggest population, the biggest square mile terrain, the toughest terrain, right? So let's. This is a whole nother beast than what we've been up against
Well,
before. So historically, though, right? You said that it's going to benefit us economically because
well, let's say that it works and we get a very much a more reasonable regime inside of Iran, and we start releasing sanctions. They're working with us. They're working with their neighbors. That is going to put pressure on China, right? And that's going to put pressure on Russia. It could open
is
up
that a guaranteed
pathways.
outcome?
It is not. Nothing is guaranteed in life,
And how did
Diligent.
that work out for us with Afghanistan? Did China move
Well,
in?
I can't look back on previous presidents and what
But
they've
you can
done.
look at
I can only
previous
look at what
interventions.
Trump is doing.
The military people who were involved in that, a lot of them, the higher ups, are still career military people. They're still there, right?
Well,
Trump's just
you
saying, go for
understand
it.
the balls it took for Trump to do this? I mean, there is no other president that would have ever even contemplated doing this, especially at this
Is he going to
time.
send? If you want to say that he had balls, I would
Major
say
balls.
if Barron was serving or one of his kids were serving, and then he did it, and Barron went over there, then I would say he had balls. He loses
Mm,
nothing. He stands to lose
what?
nothing from this. This
You could
costs
lose the
us.
midterms. You could
This
lose
costs
your
us.
economy.
He doesn't care. He's not running for president again. This is
Trump
not
doesn't care
costing him
about the United
anything.
States. Trump don't
Um,
care about the United States.
he
Is that
doesn't
what
care
you're telling
about
me?
we the people.
Really? You
Let's
Really.
say
really
he cares
truly
about
believe that?
himself.
I believe
Let's say he
that.
cares
Not
about himself.
anymore.
He doesn't care about his legacy, the legacy he's going to leave to his kids. He doesn't care about that. He's not so egotistical as a we know he is. He all he cares about is his name. He puts it on the side of buildings.
You know what else he
He's
cares
trying to
about?
go out good.
He cares about the establishment, right? All of his rich buddies at Mar-a-Lago and in New Jersey at his clubs. That's who he cares about. He cares about making sure that he's accepted back into them when he gets out of office.
I
No,
Right?
they're
disagree
at his
with you
club. They're at his
100%.
club.
100% I disagree with that statement.
He's doing every policy he's doing, dude, is unpopular with the base that got him elected.
Well, that's why I said it took a lot of balls to do what he's doing. No other president would have ever fucking done this at this time in history, right
Because it was
before an
Fair,
election.
yeah.
unnecessary. It's an unnecessary battle.
Your opinion, it was unnecessary. You don't have the intelligence that Trump's getting in his daily brief. Do you have
Yeah,
that?
but
I
neither
have
do
not
you,
been
Eddie.
presented. You're right. You're right. I have not been presented with any evidence of weapons of mass destruction the same way that we were not presented with evidence of weapons of mass destruction for Iraq. We have also not been presented with weapons of mass destruction for Iran.
Yeah, but Dale, he lived through the '79 coup. He lived through all that stuff, the
Oh my
hostages,
God.
taking Americans. He lived through the whole thing. He actually experienced it as a human being in real life.
He was over there.
No, he wasn't over there. He experienced it being an American when the coup happened, and
Well, you mean
hundreds of
while
Americans
he
got
was
killed.
doing while
So he was a
when
part
he
of
was
it, just
doing
like
the
you're alive
apprentice
now.
and when he was doing the apprentice and when he was doing his real estate
No, this
deals and
was
playing
prior. No,
golf? All
it
right.
was prior to that.
All right. Let's go to Buck. Go ahead, Buck.
Hey, Diligent, thanks for the mic. I'll be quick, but I want to lay out what is my contrarian thesis to what I've heard in the space here tonight. I actually don't think that this is an acceleration of the war. I think this is a taco. You got to recognize two things that were in that speech. One, he said it's not about regime change. And two, he said it's to other people to go
No.
open
That's
up.
not what he said. A point of clarity. He said it wasn't about regime change, but it ended up happening anyways. That's what he said.
The other thing that he said is that America's not going to open the strait. It's up to other people to do so. And
No, he
so
begged
here,
them to do it. He begged the
what?
EU to
Well,
come open up the strait. He begged them.
yeah, but let's be clear. Nobody is doing that, right? Because nobody has the military capability to do that when there's hypersonic missiles and drones that can hit any ship that comes through there. But let me offer you this. I think what you are going to see here, I'm making a prognostication, that you're going to see sort of this go on a low simmer until the midterms because he doesn't have the votes in Congress right now because many of these people are up for re-election and they know that'll be fatal to their career. However, after the midterms are over, right, if there is an agenda, to reshape the Middle East, Great Area Zero project, whatever the case may be, you may see the Democrats inheriting this war, which they would be happy to do because if you saw them at the inauguration, they all stood up and clapped
They all stood
for
up together. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So, anyways, that's what I would offer as my read on the situation. Simmer for now, no ceasefire. Striking from afar, but a de-escalation for the time being until the midterms
So
are
you
over.
don't think that the 10,000 plus boots that he's put over there are gonna go extract 1,000
No,
kilograms of uranium?
no chance. That's
Yeah,
that's
he doesn't care
folly.
about his face pro right now. He's throwing everything in it.
Doctor Strange, what do you think about Buck's hypothesis?
Yeah, I would respectfully would have to disagree. In under no circumstances would the world economy and our economy make it if the Strait of Hormuz is blocked. It's not just oil. A third of the world's fertilizers go through there. Key elements for chip making goes through there, like helium and many other things. So this is going to cause inflation like you've never seen before. On top of that, we're facing stagflation, where AI is going to basically kill a lot of jobs, and the interest rates are going to. You can't bring down the interest rate, and you're going to have inflation. So you can have potentially the worst economy. Under no circumstances will Trump allow it to go that far until the midterms. That would be
Yeah, but let me
like
offer you this. Let
essentially.
me offer you this.
Let me
It
let
it
me
it
let me mention one more thing, if I may. Look, many people don't realize that this is creating a permanent damage on our global standing overall. In addition, this has severely damaged our relationship with all of our allies, the Europeans. What we've done is we've handily pushed our closest allies into the arms of China because they're looking at the US and saying, "You're not reliable. You screwed us. The energy prices in Europe has doubled and it's growing." They're turning around and saying, "I'd rather deal with China as opposed to you. You're just being a bully." And this is going to gravitate more and more countries to deal with China versus the US because we are no longer looked upon as an entity that that that's reliable or has the moral high grounds. They're turning
but
around to
Doug,
China. And look, one last thing, Buck. In the
okay, but
past 30
you're
some odd
filibustering, my
years,
man. Let me comment on
go
this
ahead, Buck.
because
Go ahead.
you're arguing that there is no other situation except full-on invasion to open the strait or not. There are many shades of nuance in there, and if there is a reduction in the strikes, we saw Amazon Web Services get struck in Bahrain. That probably put a lot of pressure on the White House. If the Americans kind of back off, you will see a de-escalation from the Iranians, and you will see traffic start moving through the strait again. So
How
it's
did we
not
get in
all
here?
or one.
Let's start from the get. How did we enter this war?
Is that a rhetorical question, Coyote?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's a big deal, though. How did we get in here? And then why are we defending being in here now that we didn't want to? Nobody wanted to go to
Are you
war.
are
We
Well,
were
you are
in.
you are you implying that Israel is going to stop striking? Because I can tell you this, even if the United States pulls back, Israel is going to continue to strike,
They won't
right?
put
Like
boots on the ground,
we
but they will strike.
just look at what happened the last time. As long as Iran has missiles to launch at Israel, Israel's not going to stop striking,
They're
right?
going to
you,
go
you're
after
gonna
This
Lebanon.
you're
is
They want
you're
this is
gonna
Lebanon right
a
now.
this is a done deal, right? The war is happening. It does not matter if we pull out now. Israel is going to continue to strike Iran, and as long as Israel is continuing to strike Iran, Iran's going to continue to strike on the strait because they're going to starve they're going to make everybody suffer,
But
right? So
but
Israel,
what,
I
Israel doesn't have the
disagree.
manpower. They're lagging right now.
There
let,
is no pulling out of this and like, oh, we're just going to let it simmer. No, Israel's not going to let it simmer. They're going to continue to hammer, right? And
look,
Iran's going to continue to hammer back.
they've got their hands full. If you look at the national defense strategy in 2025 2026 update, there's no provision in there for stationing American troops in the Middle East. Those bases are now empty. You've got countries in the region that are signing deals with Iran to jettison American troops from their territory. That you're going to see a continuation of that, where the alliances in the region with the United States start to fall away, and you will see
Buck,
traffic flow through the
You'll
strait.
agree Israel's beat
Buck,
down right now.
hold on one second. Buck, there was also no provision in the national security strategy for a military intervention with Iran.
I'm
So a lot
offering
of
you
stuff.
exactly that's what I'm trying to explain to you. So just carefully listen to what I'm saying, right?
I did hear you.
How do you unwind 30, 40 years of defense security architecture that you're watching it happen in front of you? These nations have been paying for security and they have none, right? Israel has its hands full. It cannot continue to keep that tempo, certainly not without US support, right? And they're already talking about pipelines from Saudi Arabia and UAE and Qatar going through Gaza to the Mediterranean to Europe. Everyone is abandoning the strait. It's no longer the West's interests.
I'm not sure I follow you, but nonetheless, I will tell you this. The Houthis are, in terms of power, military power, technology, whatever, they're probably 1/1000th of the military might of the Iranians. And when they started blocking the Red Sea, we tried our best and we couldn't basically prevent them from blocking the Red Sea. And then we basically negotiated something with them. So if you think that somehow or another we're going to be able to, the Strait of Hormuz, which is much thinner, meaning much smaller, if you think we're going to basically be able
No,
to
I
turn
don't.
around and take
I
care
said
of
that.
the,
I said that I don't believe that they're going to go up the strait. So, like, don't impute to me an opinion. explicitly rejected. You weren't listening to me.
Do you
And
think
I
that
would offer you
Iran
this,
would
that
be
the
a better
Tripoli
ally?
and the
So what
Marine.
exactly are you
Hold
saying,
on,
Buck?
gentlemen, one at a time, right? If you keep jumping on me and you're not listening to what I'm
No, no, no,
saying,
no, no, no.
you
I know
won't
what it
catch
is.
what I'm
Hey,
saying.
hey! Let's not
Let
talk
me
over
offer
each
you
other.
this. The Marine Expeditionary Units that are in the region, their destination is the Bab el Mandeb. That's the only place where they could actually action a boots on the ground campaign. They will keep the Suez Canal open because that's vital to the Western interests. They are abandoning the strait. And you can disagree with me, but we will see in the coming months.
Do you believe that Iran has the right to defend themselves?
I'm not sure why you're asking these like
Just a
No, no,
common
tangential
question. Common
questions.
but how
question.
does that serve our interest, and how does that serve what we set out to do? If the Iranians basically continue to block the Strait of Hormuz, that's still going to negatively affect us
They're
in
not going to
the
block
worst
it.
possible
They're
way.
going to work out arrangements and they're going to allow traffic through. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Work out
By
How do you know?
arrangements with
dismantle,
who?
by dismant,
With who?
by dismant, by
You,
dismantling
you didn't
the
answer.
existing
You
by
didn't answer the
dismantling.
key. That all hinges upon whether or not Israel stops sending missiles over there. Are
Like
you
I offer
saying that
you,
Israel? Are you saying that Israel is going to stop bombing Iran?
that they lack the capacity to continue to do this. They've got their hands full in Lebanon. That you will not see them. They're a mosquito compared to what's going on in Iran from the Americans.
Okay, I'll have to wait and see.
Thanks
Yeah,
for the
so
mic.
Buck, what you're insinuating is that we're trying to basically get out of that region. Is that what you're trying to say? That we will remove all of our military bases from the Gulf countries?
No, he's saying that the Iranians are cutting deals with the Gulf countries in exchange. They're to get us out, to kick us out. That's what he's saying. He's saying that the military bases are going to be jettisoned, and I disagree. The only way that's going to happen is if the petrodollar is toppled. Right? That's not going to happen. That's there we have there's too much of a vested interest there. Qatar needs us. They don't have the military might to defend themselves, right? And so that is a symbiotic relationship, right? They are not fighters. They don't have the defenses we do, but they have money, right? So that is why we're in Qatar. There's
It's the
a
same
few
thing with
different.
the UAE.
I
It's the
was just
same
gonna
thing with
say,
the
there's a few
UAE,
examples of this.
Bahrain.
The UAE,
You
anybody who has oil that needs to be protected, right? Who has assets that need to be protected, we offer them protection as long as they let us station there,
yeah,
right? And
but
so
go look at
the only way that you're gonna maybe come to a deal like that is if China comes in and they kick us out. That's the only way that you're
go
gonna get that.
go look at the statements from the four ministers of those two nations that you just named. Right when Iran struck the Pars gas in Qatar, and what happened? There was diplomatic negotiations between Qatar and Iran. They ceased strikes, and they came to some kind of non-engagement agreement
Was that like when
on the oil
Israel bombed
infrastructure.
Qatar? We signed an
That
executive order.
is that
We
it.
signed an executive order though.
I can't even get my point in, gentlemen.
Just let him finish ranting and then get it in. You can work around it. I don't want to have to stop the conversation every time someone
Well,
talks. Just go.
I'm just saying, like you already see more diplomatic action between UAE and Iran and Qatar and Iran than you do with the United States and Iran. Right? They're not talking to Iran. They have no one to talk to. But somehow these countries in the Gulf region are able to get concessions and to work with the Iranian regime.
Terry, what do you think?
On that one, I mean, it's like I could see that, but it's because they run this shit over there, bro.
Terry,
Like,
what do you think?
I think number one, we're going to see the market go down tomorrow. I think that Trump was, basically trying to talk the market up, and he was fairly successful. And I think that Wall Street was expecting a speech which would have been much more conciliatory. And I don't know. I mean, I listened to it, but I think you could read it both ways, in fairness. You know, the people on the left are reading it as belligerent. The people on Fox were reading it, oh, we're going to wrap it up in a few weeks. So the eye isn't in the beholder, I think, on that. But market's going to go down tomorrow, and I think we're going to be there a while.
3
and I
weeks.
think we
3 weeks is not a good market forecast for them.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not a good forecast.
No,
I disagree.
exactly.
I disagree.
And so I think what's going to happen is we're going to end up
Terry, can I ask you a question?
boots on the ground.
What leads you to believe markets will drop tomorrow, will dip tomorrow?
Well, the first thing is that while he was speaking, my understanding is oil futures went up like 5%. That's a pretty good tell. You know, that's not, it's going to happen. It happened. Now, where they are right now, I don't know, but that answers your question.
Well, futures are quite a bit down right now. And
Futures are, I'm looking, futures are down, and I don't know that that's an indicator that the markets will dip tomorrow. I mean, look, the markets rallied
Not necessarily,
yesterday.
but
randomly
when
yesterday,
he was talking,
the markets
they didn't go up.
rallied.
It wasn't random. It was because Trump said that they were in negotiations.
We're going to get out.
Yeah, the stock market expectation was completely different. They were expecting essentially Trump to come out and say we're in talks and we've made some sort of a deal. We're about to make a deal, and that's not what he said. And therefore, it's a mismatch of expectations. The market. I said this like the first moment when Trump was done. That the market's going to be pummeled tomorrow. It'll be a bad day. Let's just put it this way.
It'll be a bad day. But
Y'all see what happened with Poly Market?
No.
They manipulated a bunch of money, man.
There were big bets. I heard that he
What
was.
do you mean they manipulated?
Boots on the ground.
Insiders.
Let's not get Poly Market any free airtime in here. They don't pay me. So
true.
Okay. Yeah, forget it. Fuck them.
Okay, well, look, guys, hold on. I'm so confused. Terry's talking about markets. Yo threw in Poly Market. I don't even understand.
Just ignore Yo. Continue talking about the markets because that's more important.
The only thing that's real in my mind almost anymore are what markets are doing, because everybody's spending the information, and I'm a little confused. You think that the Iranians are making deals with all the other Gulf countries to get us out of there? Is that what you're saying?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I didn't say that.
What do you think?
What I'm saying is that based on publicly available information, is the Gulf countries don't want Trump to leave without delineating a strong end to the regime in Iran.
That's because the Strait is still getting pummeled.
I agree with that.
Let me finish, Diligent. To which I think Trump should turn around and say, you know what? We did our part. Do your fucking part. You want the regime gone? Your region, your war, and walk away. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I believe that this is a great hot potato moment for Trump to be like, hey, we started it. Please go finish it. It's your war. Israel, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait. Like, please go ahead. Finish. Please finish what we started. I don't know. That's just my take.
Yeah, we broke it. You guys fix it. That's your view.
That's exactly what he's been saying, though. That's exactly what he's been saying.
I disagree that it's about breaking and fixing. I think we started a fix. They just need to go on and finish it.
I mean, he pretty much begged them to tonight, right? In his speech. Like he all but begged. It was like, he's like, we need you guys to go in there and get it finished. They're going to do it. You guys will come do it.
I don't know about begging. I don't know about begging. I think he made it obvious that we are not dependent on oil in the that comes through the Strait of Hormuz, which, by the way, I said this with Lauren Boebert and a few
Then why
other
am I
members,
paying $1 more a gas a gallon?
No, I'm going to tell you why. Because people like Rex Tillerson need to be hauled into Congress to ask him why the fuck we're paying $2 more gas a gallon. Not one,
Yeah, it's
it's
the oil
two in
company's
certain
fault.
parts
Yeah.
of the country.
They'll
So
just do like Howard
we need
Lutnick.
to ask them what is your rationale for raising oil if the supply, by the way, is not coming through the Strait of Hormuz? How does this impact futures? And by the way, why are you raising the cost of landed, produced, refined oil here inland and not future arrivals? Like we need to regulate this industry.
Oh,
It
okay.
needs more regulation.
So we ought to regulate prices of oil
Not
products. Is that
regulate
what you're?
prices. Not regulate prices.
What should we regulate
Regulate.
then?
You need to create regulatory guardrails to avoid price gouging. Right now,
Okay.
they're raising the
The
That's already
they're
regulatory
raising
those
the
guardrails
Terry,
of
regulatory
Terry,
those regu
hold
hold
on,
on those
Terry,
hold
hold
on
on,
hold on those
Diligent. Let me finish my
regulatory
point.
measures about price gouging are already there during wartime. That's
They're
already
not.
that's
No,
already
they're
law.
not. That's that. No, it's not. Not in. This is not a wartime. This is not
We're
under
not in a
wartime
war. Congress hadn't declared it.
resolutions. We're not. We're not in. Thank you. That's what I was going to say. Thanks, yo. So we're not in a war technically, Diligent. So no, that does not apply. So this is normal times. You might not like it. I'm just calling it a spade a spade.
But
My point
it's
is,
not
we
it's
are
not price
raising.
gouging.
Oh, it's
It's not
impossible to have a fucking conversation.
it's not price gouging because our companies, our American oil is sold at the world market price. That's how the contracts are written. So we need to rewrite the contracts.
Go ahead, George. You can finish.
I was trying to get to the point of renegotiation, right? So my point here is what strikes me, it's revolting, is that the price of oil is rising on a constant fluctuating standard on oil that's already produced, stockpiled, and it's domesticated. I think there needs to be some regulatory reform and renegotiation of how we raise the price of oil. It is just so wrong. And again, it's like we should. I think Rex Tillerson should be
But
his
then we
ass and
lose.
every other oil executive.
A lot of our leverage with the petrodollar, and put it in the hands of the government, which might be controlled by your opponent who wants to make everything battery powered in 2 years or 3 years, right? Like
Dude, look,
that's a
and
dangerous line of thinking.
sure. Oh, okay, great. So then let's not complain that oil prices go up because there's a
I mean,
crisis in
I
the
can
Strait of
complain
Hormuz.
because I didn't vote for this war, right? So the oil prices are up
Diligent,
as a result of the war.
you and I had conversations, and I think you're intelligent enough to know that there would be military action in Iran. Everybody who
Yeah, and we
understood
witnessed
politics
it
knew that
last
there would
year,
be.
Operation Midnight Hammer, right? We witnessed it last year, and we were told that the mission was a success, and yet here we are again.
Clearly, it was not enough. They needed to do more reconnaissance. They had to go back in.
They
I
needed
mean,
to do
look,
more damage to the
I,
global economy and to the
I,
American people. Where's the benefit
if you
here?
see it that
I've
way,
not.
I
You know what?
understand.
Can you, George? Can you tell me how this benefits the American people? Give me one example. Just
Ali
give me one.
Khomeini, Ali Khomeini was the largest state sponsor of terrorists
Mm-hmm.
as the Ayatollah of Iran. Okay, I'll give you examples. U.S. soldiers who have been butchered abroad in our military bases in the Gulf region for decades. Or I can go back to the couple in the St. Bernardino shooting, which tied right back to Iran at the time when they did the forensics on it, that Apple refused to unlock the phone, but our FBI agents figured it out through like the photo app. There was a back door, there was a glitch that they fixed afterwards. But I just want to remind
George,
you,
do you have any receipts for that? Because I've
Iran.
never seen that and I've looked into it
So
in depth.
that's not a benefit, right? Tell me how
Oh,
this
so
war
all right. So
benefits the American people.
curbing the number one state sponsor of terror is not benefiting the number one
Okay,
target
can
of
you give me
terror. I
one
mean,
that's not a George Bush talking point?
Dude, you please don't offend me. You know I hate George
I'm
Bush.
not. It is a
That's not
George
a
Bush
George
talking
Bush talking
point.
point. That's no, it's not. That's an intelligence talking point. Anybody who's ever had access to intelligence can tell you that. Like, you don't take it from me. You don't like it. I had access to intelligence. I can tell
When's the
you
last
that's the
time that?
reason. But if you don't,
When's the last time that an Iran-backed terrorist killed U.S. soldiers?
I don't know the specifics. But I mean, an Iran-backed terrorist. I mean, what, 2 weeks ago when they started, nearly 3 weeks ago, nearly willy
Before
shooting
the
all over the
war,
Gulf and
George.
before the war. I don't know, Diligent. I
This
didn't
is
come
not
prepared
an.
for a
This
pop
is
quiz.
listen. This was
I'm
not.
sure that it's not hard to go Google it.
This was not an instigated attack. This is what I'm saying, right? This was not
Oh,
this was
right.
not in
So over
retaliation.
six
This was
decades,
not.
over 6 decades of absolute death to
Jo-
America chance was not
George, who
instigated.
killed more people in
Oof.
the past 5 years, Israel or Iran?
Dude, I don't know. I'm not keeping
So
tally.
again,
I don't
George,
care.
this is a tax on the American people. It's a tax on our sons and daughters, right? And you're not. And I realize, and you know, I have a lot of respect for you. So, but you're not selling this, right? Like this is
I'm not
hard to
trying to
sell.
sell it. I'm not trying to sell it. I'm just trying to find I'm just trying to
Where's the
square it
golden
away
lining
in the
here?
best
That's what
way
I'm
I
saying.
can. I think the
What's the
golden lining at the end of the day is, here's what I believe is, Diligent. Yes, it sucks. Yes, there's a lot of morale that has been compromised. Yes, there's a lot of disillusioned supporters. They're not seeing the vision. I get that. I am not going to argue something that is as clear as fucking day, right? I am also at the same time not going to ignore that there has to be a benefit to everything, right? So I'm a perpetual optimist, and I think you know that about me. We've had a lot of conversations, personal conversations, and I think you know that about me. So I will look for the absolute best possibility outcome in the worst case scenario. This is a
Can you
terrible
lay that out for
scenario.
me with the war with Iran? Can you lay me out the best possible scenario?
The best possible scenario is, sadly, I know you don't like it. I don't think we should go to war for it, but if we can affect regime change and remove the IRGC out of power, the mullahs and the structure of the Ayatollah, that is not a bad outcome. Obviously, how does it benefit America? Again, it's the one nation on earth that they do love to burn the American flag in their parliament. They love to chant death to America. Matter of fact, they
Who
actually
cares? Who
live
cares
by
what they
those.
say and what they burn over there? I don't care. That doesn't bother
Dude,
me.
I do.
I care
It
if they burn
bothers
it over
me.
here.
It bothers me. Well, they do burn it over here. Are you kidding?
You know what I mean?
But we
Like,
put them in. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing.
Yeah.
We put this shit show together. We did the one before that, and then we'll do. We've
you
never been
don't
good at
think,
it, George.
again, I want to pose the same question to you, George, that I posed to Jessica a minute ago. If we were not, they did not strike United States first. They did not strike Israel first. Okay. And if you were do you think that a kid who just had their mother or their father, let's just say father, their father and their uncle murdered or killed at the oil factory that he worked at, or at the oil refinery he worked at, you think that he's going to grow up blaming the United States for killing his family?
Look, one is to expect that the answer to that question is yes. I mean, but I don't know.
So do you think that
That's a lot of, but
generational?
that's a lot of. No, but you're assuming that's an assumption.
I'm
We
not
don't know if
assuming. I
somebody.
remember what happened with Iraq and ISIS, right?
Well, ISIS,
We
no,
created
ISIS.
radicalism, right?
Yeah, but
That spread.
ISIS is a bigger problem. If you really look at the problem of what ISIS is, you cut the head of the snake that was Saddam Hussein, who actually managed in some bizarre way to maintain regional stability, to which then created offshoots of radicalized, right, movements, and then that's the birth of ISIS, right? But before
And
then,
getting
we were
off
dealing with
topic.
a more we were, well, he asked me a question and I'm answering
No,
it.
it's
Now,
fine.
if you
It's
like,
relevant,
Hey,
so you
George.
can answer it.
yeah, well,
Dad.
I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. So my point is we at that time we were really battling a more idealistic enemy, which was the God. Can somebody please throw me a lifeline? My head's mush right now. The Al Qaeda. So I guess yes to your answer. What we did in Iraq, and then you know how I feel about what happened in Iraq. uh, Yes, it caused more problems for us. I don't see this as the same. I see this as the last standing financial sponsor of said organizations, and I do believe if you cut the head of this snake, I don't think they have anywhere else to go for financing. I think it's
Turkey.
over.
No,
George,
no,
George, I
Turkey.
Turkey.
think this
Let
is
me
going to be
explain.
10
Me
You,
times.
explain.
Hold
you,
on,
what do
hold
you
on,
mean?
guys.
George,
George,
Hold on, hold on. Netanyahu was paying Hamas millions of dollars
no,
in Qatar.
that's false.
That's
May I say,
false.
may I
It's not
That's
may I
false.
debunk?
It's
categorically
not
false.
false.
That's
It's not
false. That's
false.
false.
He
Yes,
admitted
it
to
is.
it.
That is categorically no. He
Hey,
did
I got
Qatar,
not. That is
receipts. I got receipts.
Qatar. Hold on, hold on, hold on,
no,
hold
no,
on,
no. The
hold on,
receipts.
hold
Hold
on.
on,
This
diligent.
is
Thank
back
I
in
you,
the
want to
day.
address
No,
diligent.
this.
hold on. They were paying them for stability in
They
Palestine,
didn't pay them.
right?
They let Qatar to pay Hamas.
Fucking dude, I'm not arguing about semantics here, okay? The fact of the matter is Israel paid
D-
Qatar to pay Hamas. Period. That's all there is to it. And Netanyahu admitted to it. Qatar admitted to it. I think the only people, I don't know if Hamas
Not
has
in
admitted
that
to it.
context. You're being disingenuous. You're being disingenuous
It's
because
on
you
the
know it's
Times
not
of
in that
Israel,
context.
Jerusalem Post, or hers. I mean, it's right
It's
there.
That is, but
everywhere,
it's not
bro.
the context. But it's not the context. You're taking it out of context. Israel and
Hey,
and and
this is a
and and
monarch,
Bibi,
diligent.
Hold on, let him finish.
Bibi funded the idea and prefaces of Hamas as a stability party for for Gaza, and we're talking almost 20 years ago before they radicalized into whatever it is that they are now. It's not the way you make it
So
sound. Is
is
like,
it
oh yeah,
fair to
Bibi's.
say that when you do these kind of interventions that you don't know what the outcome's going to be 10, 20 years down the road and how much it might cost a
But you're
whole
comparing
civilization?
apples. You're comparing
In
apples to oranges in reality. Like,
George, may I talk?
Hamas.
As you know me, I'm
Go ahead.
Iranian. So
Warren, hold on. Take your turn. Raise your hand. Everybody's talking. Wait your turn.
Dr. Strange, you had your hand up.
Thanks. George, I'm going to push back on what you said, and there's plenty of reason to do so. If we pursue regime change in Iran without a formidable force being there to replace them, the nation's going to become 10 times worse than Iraq. This has happened over and over in numerous places. When you don't have a formidable force that can come in and stabilize the country, you're looking at
And the culture has to accept it.
absolutely. Even if the
I have a
culture doesn't
question.
accept it, you
Are you an
need, hold
Iranian to
on,
speak on behalf of us?
Warren, shut up. I don't care if you're an Iranian. I don't give a rat's ass if you're an
Just
Iranian.
finish what you're saying, Dr. Strange. I'll
Yeah.
handle moderating.
Look, the point that I'm trying to make is that this is military 101. If you go in and pursue regime change, if you don't have an alternative force that can come in and stabilize the country, you're looking
We
at
saw this with Afghanistan after 20 years. I
no
understand what you're
Afghanistan.
saying.
Believe it or not, we actually had a force that came in and stabilized the country to some degree, but that was actually a far better
And it
scenario.
collapsed the moment we
Yeah,
left.
no. Let me finish. That we're going into a different direction. Let me finish my thoughts. Iran is three times
I
or
just
four
agreed
times the
with you.
size of
I just agreed with you.
four times the size of Iraq. No, I want to get some other points, George, because it's very important. If you go in there and destabilize the country, you're going to have terrorist groups pop up all over. You're going to have civil war. You're going to have drug trades, human trades, millions of refugees going towards Europe. This is the epitome of a disaster in the making if you try to pursue regime change and you don't have a formidable force that can come in and basically take up the vacuum, the power vacuum. And this is, again, military 101. So to think that we can basically topple this regime and then everything is going to be great, it's a very naive thinking. And also regarding San Bernardino, you may have mixed things up, but there is no evidence whatsoever that the Iranians had anything to do with that. In fact, if anything, they were in Saudi for a few years. So the thought process was that they may have been radicalized there because those people, those husband and wife, lived in Saudi for a few years. Just wanted to make sure that we clarify that because
No, no, I did not misspeak on that one. I can actually send you my train of thought. I'll DM it to you,
could you
and you'll
please?
see
I'd
where
appreciate it because I
I'll
really want to
send you
see
the
that
source.
evidence.
Yeah, no, I did not misspeak there. I am certain of what I'm saying there,
I've looked it
and
up
I'm more
extensively,
than
and there's no evidence, nothing on the news, nothing that any of the intelligence agencies have said that they were linked to Iran in any way.
Could
okay.
you send me the sources to me as well, George?
Who's asking?
Warren.
I'm
Yeah,
Warren.
sure,
Warren, you have your hand
sure.
up. You can go next. Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to say that first of all, when Dr. Strange says about power vacuum, already almost more than 100,000 people defected and joined the Crown Princes of Pahlavi, and the majority of Iranian people actually want Crown Princes of Pahlavi to take over, and they trust him.
Warren, where's the
So
receipt for that? Where's the receipt that
where's your seat? The
100,000?
like
Well,
100,000.
let him
So
finish,
he
Dr.
said
Strange, and
that
then I'll let you
you're
follow
like
up.
they're actually joining his network. So what's your evidence to debunk that? So you don't have any evidence to debunk that, and you're asking me for evidence to prove
I
that.
mean,
But
it's the onus is on the person presenting the claim to provide evidence to support
so
it,
that person
not the
actually
person who's questioning it.
even gives lower numbers than actual numbers because even he like for example
Yeah, but we
for
do
the total
primary
death
evidence
he
in here,
says
bro.
30,000.
All right. Let me tell you how this works. So if you make a claim, right, then you should be able to substantiate that claim with primary evidence. That's just how it is. So otherwise, just continue on though. I don't want to argue about semantics about numbers. Continue.
Okay, so also we saw that like the map as we saw, and if we just calculate like how many people were in the streets, almost 26 to 30 million people were in the streets on January 8th and 9th, which is like almost 30% of the country. And then what happened was that they trust Crown Prince of Pahlavi, and I don't know, some non-Iranians are here and talking shit while having no information about what happened there, or inviting some Basiji regime propagandists to actually spread propaganda here. I don't know where do you guys get your sources from, but
Do
George
you
is
have
the one of the
anything
most sensible guys here, and
other than just
actually
ad
he knows
hominems,
about.
bro? Other than ad hominems, like making personal attacks about people's
I'm
credibility,
not making ad hominem.
do you
I
want to
just want
talk
to
about
like
policy? Do you want to forecast? Do you want to
I
tell us
want to talk
how?
about policy. So if you want
Okay,
to
so
talk
start
about
talking about
policy, I can go
policy.
by Iranian Prosperity Project. So which part of that do you want to talk about? Because
I'm okay.
actually,
So
the Crown Prince has a
how does regime
whole
change
booklet.
and ongoing military campaign benefit the United States people? We the people. Can you answer that?
Could you repeat your question again?
How does an ongoing military campaign by the United States benefit its citizens
How does it benefit the citizens? Actually,
of the
by
United States?
stopping the Islamic Republic to sell oil to China, so it weakens the Chinese economy and
Do you know
actually
how
has
much?
oil deals with Iran. So you
Do you
say,
know
oh,
how much?
United
Do you know how
States,
much oil that China gets from Iran?
actually over 1 million barrels per day.
But do you know what percentage of China's oil intake comes from Iran? You know what percentage of that is?
I don't know the entire
It's
percentage.
less than 10%.
So it's still it's a
Wait,
huge portion.
diligent.
So it's
Every
still you
Gulf
say less than
country.
10% comes from
Warren,
Iran,
Warren,
and still a
Warren,
huge
Oh
portion.
God,
Warren,
let him
So
Warren,
let him
if
let him
Warren.
what if those
respond. Dr.
Quick
10%
Strange.
goes
comment.
to United
Dr.
States
Strange,
You
let
and
him let
United
him
gaslight.
States
let him
sells them to China?
stop talking over me, bro. I'm the host. I'm trying to moderate. You just keep talking. He's talking. I can't tell either one of you to shut up. I'm trying to pause Dr. Strange so you can talk in uninterrupted. But when I'm saying when I'm trying to reel it in, let me reel it in. What were you saying in response, Warren? Unmute your mic.
Sorry, I didn't hear the question. Could you please repeat? Sorry.
You were responding to what I said about how much oil comes from to China from Iran, like that was the great somehow that's going to be okay. China bad, I agree. Okay, and I'll give you that one. That this affects Iran or
Okay.
China's oil flow, but don't you think that this is going to just drive China to get oil from the competitors of Iran?
Like what competitors actually?
Like the
You're talking
UAE?
about UAE, Saudi Arabia. So those competitors, United States can become closer to them, and they're more like kind of U.S. allies than like allies to China. Even Biden's one of the worst Biden's policies was that Biden made Saudi Arabia to become close to China actually, and that was the reason that actually the economy got fucked. So even now, Iran as an ally would be very useful for the United States, especially across Israel. Then they actually, put down all the terrorism and defeat them, because a strong Iran and strong Israel will be the best allies, and
And
not any other
you
country
think that a
actually can
population
stop
of
them.
of hundreds of millions of Iranians who have had their husbands and their fathers and their sons killed in this campaign are going to suddenly be allies to Israel?
So actually, before that, even they supported Israel, and
Yeah, but that was before all of the
all the
bombing.
death is like no, is because of the Islamic Republic, not because of Israel. Because the people even
Oh, okay.
asked Israel to bomb the Islamic Republic. You are not Iranian. I talk to anybody.
Are you
Like
in Iran right now?
I'm not in Iran, but I talk to my
Okay.
family in Iran every day. So I left Iran actually after like living 11 years, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, so you're a
but.
defector. So is it fair to say that you are biased?
I'm not biased. Like, what do you mean by bias? Bias means to have a bias
There
against
are
this Islamic
supporters
country.
of the regime who live in Iran, correct?
Yes, less than like 5%. Yes, and many of them are coming from Iraq,
It's way
because
more than 5%.
no,
It
it's
is
not
way
way
more
more.
than
It's not way
5%.
more. It like in 2022, according to Gaman data survey, it was 15%. Okay,
That was
and
an
now
Israeli
like
funded survey.
no, that was not Israeli. No, no, no. Gaman is
European
actually very
Israeli
anti-Israel.
funded
Do you
survey.
know who
Yes, it
Ammar
was.
Maleki is?
Yes,
Ammar.
I had this whole space. I had a whole space. I had the royal descendant in the space, right? I'm not having that whole debate again. All right, so I have a hard stop. I was supposed to stop 30 minutes ago. We're going to go through the rest of these hands, and then we're going to move over to the subscriber after space. The link is up in the Jumbotron. We're going to go to Terry, Dr. Strange, and Coyote. Probably double
Yeah,
mute.
I think that George kind of got out from under his thing about. I heard he wanted to control oil prices, so but whatever. I again, my prediction is we're going to have a tough while on Wall Street here. I think Trump has not made up his mind, but I think he's being pushed by Netanyahu and MBS to put boots on the ground. My idea is, the 82nd Airborne can do a blocking maneuver, and the IDF can go in and get nuclear materials, but they don't seem interested in that. And now I will say, is the world better without these people running that country? Answer: yes. Are we, America, going to benefit from
Only
this?
if something better takes over.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, that's good point. I mean, chaos could be better. I don't know, not for the Iranian people, but maybe for us. But I think that, as you point out, as everybody's pointed out, war has all these unanticipated outcomes, and we've seen that in Afghanistan and Iraq and Libya. I mean, you can go down the list, and I think that we were brought into this by Israel. I don't think there's any question about that. And I think that we're in a bad spot. My prediction is Trump's going to double or triple down, and it will be really, really bad if we don't open the Straits of Hormuz and or get those nuclear materials, period.
I agree. Thank you, Terry. Go ahead, Dr. Strange, and then Coyote.
Thanks, Illusion.
And this is
So
final
Mark,
thoughts, you guys. This is final thoughts.
I appreciate it. So Warren mentioned a few things that are just completely inaccurate. It's completely false, fabricated. He said 30% of Iranians came out protesting and against the regime, which is there's it's completely made up. There is no such thing, and there's no evidence that you could say that that many people turned out. What we do know, and this is according to Western sources, that when the Ayatollah was killed, there was about 1 million people who came out in grievance within the city of Tehran itself, the capital alone, let alone the other cities. So there's this constant pushing that, oh, everybody hates the regime, when in fact it's not real. A lot of people, a lot of Iranians witnessed, they lived on this planet when they saw what happened to Iraq, they saw what happened to Afghanistan, which were their neighbors, right? They had firsthand view of what happened with those countries. So they essentially know full well what happens when a country gets invaded. It goes into a catastrophe. So they're more aligned with the regime, I would contend, than they are against the regime, especially given that they've been attacked in this way, and the fact that Israel's involved, because everybody in that region hates Israel. Um, Secondly, Warren said that somehow we're going to stop Iran from selling its oil to China. I mean, this is absurd. All the Gulf countries in that region who are our allies, their number one buyer of oil and their natural gas is China. I don't know what the heck he's smoking. This is not the case. If anything, if he said they would move on to the petrodollar, yeah, there's a claim, but you just have people pushing a propagandist agenda. He's a supporter of Reza Pahlavi, who just wants change by any means necessary, and that's just very disingenuous to come in and basically fabricate stuff to get people, the American people, to believe that this regime is the end all be all of evil and we need to go in there and replace it with our blood, sweat, and money. It's just wrong at so many levels. I'll land with that. Thanks.
Thanks, brother. Go ahead, Coyote.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'll be the one to say it. Like, I don't want to be over there. I don't care about, I don't wish bad on anybody, but I don't want to go over there and babysit Iran, pull out of there. Just leave it like it is. Let them figure it out. I think that Israel, they can defend themselves because they want that right or whatever. So let them try it out. We see a little David and Goliath action. I think the Strait of Hormuz, it was all good. They weren't even charging. There was no problems, and now we're creating problems. It feels like, oh my God, we got to fix that. Well, we shouldn't have done this or whatever. We got to get out of this toxic relationship with this Middle Eastern crap. I get the military-industrial complex and how it pertains to the economy, but the American people are suffering way too much, bro. And people like Warren got me. I don't think he's here still, but
Yeah,
he's
let's not
been
talk
killed.
about people who are on
I
stage.
didn't know if he's here. I wanted to. Oh, anyway, yeah, people got to be careful out there, because there's a lot of people, these little monarchists and stuff. There's a
Bro,
lot floating
he's
in
not
spaces.
here.
No, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about just in general. There's a bunch of monarchs been coming into spaces,
I don't know
and
what that means.
it's like a kind of like a Zionist Iranian in a sense, right? That's strange. They want the prince, the nose, the guy with
Mm,
the nose.
monarchists. Okay. All right. Thank you. Julian, my co host, do you have any final thoughts you want to add?
No, I mean the discussion got a little chaotic there at the end. I do think George was onto something when he's talking about the U.S. starting it and other people sort of finishing it. It will give people who claim they're allies of ours, which I'm not insinuating they're not, but they can show how much they really care and want to be on our side, being that they're much more vulnerable in this region. I think it kind of lines up with the way Trump talked about and handled NATO in the past. The idea that, like, look, we're not going to police the world anymore. If you guys want to be part of this, then you have to actually, you know, get some
It
skin
needs
in
to
the
be a
game.
collective effort. You need to pitch in.
Yeah, correct. So I do agree with George in that regard. Um, I guess that's all I would add. Oh, and Qatar definitely sent like 15 to 30 million in cash into Hamas-controlled Gaza starting in 2018, approved by Netanyahu himself.
Yes, it
And his
was.
own intelligence told him, as of 2019, that a good amount of that cash, millions every month, was making its hands into the military wing, which it wasn't supposed to. But if you send suitcases full of cash into a terrorist occupied state, don't be surprised when they get control of it.
You're a state funder. You're a state sponsor terrorist at that point.
Yes, approved by
Yeah.
approved by the people claiming to want
The
to stop
pot's calling the kettle black there. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. All right, you guys, if you want to support what I'm doing, turn all notifications on for my profile, the little bell icon. Go hit all. You'll never miss when we host these spaces. Also, I'm about to move over to our subscriber space. Its link is up in the Jumbotron. If you don't like the way that I moderate these spaces, or if you don't like me, you don't like the cut of my jib, and you want to come bitch at me, complain, the best way is to subscribe. There's a pink button on my profile. Come up there. I'll throw you on stage, and you can tell me how you feel. Have a good night, everybody. God bless you, and please pray for our country.